बाहर एक तो बैठ कर
Good afternoon, all of you. Very warm welcome to Women Economic Forum 2016. I am feeling very pleasure and congratulating to be a part of this great event. So our next session will be on what my mother and grandmother did to save money. Are there values to be learned? Which is presented by our lead speaker, Charity Luba. Please welcome ma'am.
Good afternoon. My name is Charity and I'm a retiree. I retired last year from my job as the Managing Director of Airtel Networks. And before that, I've had 2 previous Managing Director roles as the Managing Director of a bank, EcoBank Zambia, which I actually established in Zambia, the first branch ever in Zambia for West African Banking Group. And I managed to do that quite successfully. We opened our doors within a year of my being appointed. And then I was also the managing director of the Zambia National Tourism Board. Upon retiring, Zambia National Tourism Board is a government parastatal. I'm very responsible for domestic and international marketing of the Zambian tourism product. I'm sure you may have heard of the Victoria Falls, one of the natural wonders of the world. Well, it's in Zambia. So I'm quite privileged to come from there. I'm now currently the chairperson of one of the biggest banks in Zambia, Zanakwa. I also chair 2 other boards, the SOS Student Villages International, as well as the Hostels Board of Management, which is a government body under the Ministry of Works and Supply. So I've got my feet in 3 different boards. That keeps me busy for somebody who's like retired. But at least keeps my brain going. Why did I choose this topic? I think it's important for all of us, especially for me who has a financial background as a banker, to see what gems there are from our ancestors, and I call them ancestors because of my granny, on how we could save money. And saving money really from their perspective is a totally different perspective from what we have today. I come from Zambia, and Zambia in Africa is not like your usual other country in the West, and we have very deeply seated cultural norms, which I have set aside and put in this presentation to allow you to see a little little bit of where we come from in terms of savings and also in terms of investment. So in my slide today, here's my granny reading a book, How to Get Rich. And tell me, how do you get rich if you don't save? So I just thought, let's make this a nice, fun, interactive session. There's lots of learning. I believe we can also be serious and have fun. It's pointless being also serious and trying to see what we can get from here without enjoying ourselves a little bit. And I trust that some things will stick because we'll be having a bit of fun. So, what did my grandmother do? And what did my mother do? Where did the money go? And the money does go. Sometimes, despite all the best intentions, savings just seem to go away. So what do we mean by savings? So I Googled, thank God for my new best friend Google, and they told you that an economy of or reduction in money, time, or another resource. A reduction, a cut, a decrease economy, that's what we mean by savings. And if you find any definition here that resonates with your own, please feel free to share it or even to tell me something I may have missed out. Economizing, you have to have frugality, thrift and thriftiness. You have to have retrenchment, cutting back, belt tightening, all those nice things that you're supposed to do and maybe not do so well. Penny pinching, carefulness, prudence. I looked at all these definitions. So the money one has saved, especially through a bank or official scheme, is also a saving. And you also look at the synonyms of what is saving. Saving is a nest egg. Money put by for a rainy day, life savings, or more capital if we go into 21st century motherhood, or capital, assets, funds, resources, and reserves. So, first things that our grandparents did was to have children. Okay? And the more the merrier. Why? Because they have their uses. And they were useful for something. Going to the butchery, send them off to the bush, they go and hunt you a guinea fowl, they go and hunt you some game, and you come back and you have something to eat. The mother savings habit also has two schools of thoughts. The piggy bank, and we also invested in livestock to store value. So we bought cows, we bought pigs, we bought chickens, we did everything, turkey, in the homestead. And the homestead could be not even much bigger than we're seeing today. And this is what our mothers and grandmothers did to save money. So they would sell their livestock to release cash in emergencies. So they'll keep the wild, the domestic animals there. They will tend to them, they let them loose in the field. There's no need to buy livestock or feed because they will be there. So at the end of the day, they were able to store value, fatten them at zero cost, but still managed to sell them. And the reasons why we had so many children was to help them carry this livestock with us. To markets, down the road, because transportation those days was not easy. So you had sports carts or you actually walk. I need to have more children here as well to multitask. Next. So, another way of saving, hand-me-downs. It's not every day that mother bought something new or grandmother. So if I had a younger sister or an elder sister, I'd be wearing their hand-me-downs. So there'll be clothes, there'll be toys, there'll be books, bikes, and somebody said even their name was a hand-me-down. My name is a hand-me-down from my great-grandmother, my mother's mother. So hand-me-downs were the things to do. Not that we were all very happy about it, but it was another form of saving. And if you look at what happened when you had the hand-me-downs, there was always a challenge about wearing other people's clothes, because at the end of the day, they were not always what you wanted, but it saved your grandmother or your mother some money. We also have the cookie jar savings, because they released power. They gave us money for college, for housekeeping, for medicals, and for, I think that's it, something. Vision? I don't think so. They were not that enlarging their vision. But it was there. And at the end of the day, these cookie jars were not always out on display, but they were there. And what happens now is that they invest that money in the kids' education. All those kids they had, they invested in them as a saving to take them to school, because when they grow up, who looks after you? It's your children. In my culture, we have a saying, and I'll try and make it simple in translation. It says, Mom, look after me, and I'll look after you. And it's really about putting your children on your back. And they say, when we grow older, we'll put you on our back too. So this investment in education was a way of saving for our grandmothers and our mothers. So our mothers and grandmothers were also very entrepreneurial. Cost management was something that they believed in. So instead of buying it, they'll make it. If they can get a piece of dress that is perhaps very nice, but while the other portion is damaged, they'll make you a skirt. If they could find some material to make you a dress, an outfit, whatever, they'll make it for you. Much cheaper and definitely more cost saving if it comes to the choice of shall I spend it or shall I save it? Now, there was also a big secret. Grandpa or even dad never knew where the cash was stashed, because there was always a cash stashed somewhere for the emergencies. I recall my grandmother used to tie it in a knot in her wrapper, and she'd give it to me, go and put it away safely. Because if she put it away safely, it would be so safely put away, nobody would ever find it. So that form of saving was quite detrimental to all of us. So some of us had to volunteer to hide the wrapper. And because she was advanced in age, we didn't take advantage of thinking that she may not know how much money was there. She knew how much money was there. So it was a big family secret. So, money saving moms. I'm sure all of us in here are mothers. Most of us in here are mothers. That's my daughter. So I save, and I had to dip into my piggy bank to bring her to India to learn how to global network. So we do all sorts of things as parents. So we dip into our savings to allow our children to have some benefits and privileges. So mom savings. I'm talking now about the 21st century mom. That's me, that's you. What do? We go to the bank. And at the end of the day, we put our money in the bank. In Zambia, Zambia is predominantly a developing country with very few banks in the rural areas. So you will find banks only in the urban areas or peri-urban areas, but hardly ever in the rural areas. So at the end of the day, it was important for us to put money in the bank. The other way we also save is not to use our money, to use his credit card and spend his money while you think you're saving. And that still works, I think, for most of us today. Moms also invest. How many of us have investments of any kind, in shares, in stocks, savings? Yeah, we do that quite a bit. And why do we do that? Because we are also saving for that rainy day when we'll not be able to go to work, and we want to have some nice things by having our own money. So, options are also weighed carefully between trading and investing. And what I mean by trading is that you take the money, buy something that is movable. Sometimes when I look at my grandmother, she would buy vegetables, she would buy seed, she would actually plant the seed and have vegetables or maize and sell it. Okay, so that is what I mean by trading. Or investing, you actually buy stock, you buy shares, or you buy cattle. In my country, cattle appreciates quite a bit. In my country, real estate appreciates quite a bit. What is my favorite way of saving? I am completely useless around money. So I keep it in a non-monetary form. So I buy houses. I don't put money in the bank unless I'm going to spend it, which is another way of saving for me. Because unlike the Western world where real estate actually devalues, in Zambia, it actually appreciates value. I bought a house in August of 2000 13 for $600,000. By the end of the year, it had already reached $150,000. So that of the same year. So you see, real estate appreciates. So subsequently, you need to weigh carefully trading versus investing. I'm a lazy seller, so I would not do trading. I prefer to do things that will work for themselves and actually give me the money. And this I learned as well from my grandmother. So let's recap. Savings were in children, the more the merrier. And my grandmother had 10 children. 10 children, and she educated them all so that at the end of the day they were independent and were able to look after her financially. We also had the storage of value in livestock, which was sold for releasing cash. We also sacrificed, we denied ourselves gratification and other needs in order to have money for a rainy day. We very good at hiding cash, and I think we can all relate to that because you sometimes don't want it to be found. And when it's out of sight, it's out of mind because you don't want to spend it. We're rarely in the bank, especially my grandmothers. They were rarely in the bank. And my mother and myself as a mother, we like to make and put money in the bank. We made all the clothes required as grandmothers and mothers, and I'm talking the pre-1970s, as well as being entrepreneurial. Every home you went to had a little garden patch. And this is the garden patch was for vegetables, for home use, as well as for selling. Because your neighbors would come around and ask, do you have any vegetables? And they'll say, yeah, pick some up and just give me $1. And that's the way they made some money. And then there was always a weekly budget for food and shopping weekly. Never done ad hoc anytime as we do it nowadays, once a week. And if I recall carefully, actually, my grandmother used to do it once a month. And then we also had Happening Down Paradise. I'm sure most of us recall wearing our big sister or elder brother's t-shirts or dresses. And again, these were done from generation to generation. I'm sure when my daughter was born, there were a few hand-me-downs that I had from my auntie's children who were now much older, and they had these little things for me to use with her. And as such, I managed to save some money. So, what are the values to learn? I think one of the most important values is that we need to cut costs to create big savings. I've gotten to a stage where I learned that going to a shop, you have so many variety. Pick the most suitable in terms of price and in terms of quality. So it's a very critical thing to do. And no matter how much or how little you pay, you never get ahead if you spend more than you earn. You're going to end up in debt. And that is a very clear value that our grandmothers taught us. My grandmother told me one day that you need to maintain your self-respect. When you borrow money from people, you open yourself up to any manner of ridicule because you have borrowed money. And for me, that is a lesson that has stayed. If I'm going to borrow money, it really has to be because I know I'll be able to pay it back when I say I'll pay it back. Often it's easier to spend less than it is to earn more. No matter how much we wish we had more money, it's always important that you spend within your means. Many a time that when your grandparents or your parents are being frugal, they're being entrepreneurial, it does rub off. It does give good value to the children. And when he says my mom started an airfreight company, my grandmother built golf course. I have a certain degree of entrepreneurial risk-taking in my family history. Maybe that eventually rubbed off on me a little bit. And how true is that? Because your children see what you're doing, you're not spending money willy-nilly, you're being careful, you're saving, but you still are able to enjoy your life. I think it's important that we learn this value for ourselves, but more importantly, for the children and grandchildren under our care. So, another value to learn. Saving money isn't a sin. Okay? It's actually a healthy, responsible habit which the Bible endorses. Yeah? And it's in Proverbs 10 verse 4, which says that poor is he who works with a negligent hand, but the hand of the diligent makes rich. And I think it just covers everything that we need to learn about saving and what our grandmothers did, what our mothers did. And in those days, I think there was a popular saying that religion was the opium of the poor, probably still is. And my grandmother was not well-to-do, so she believed in God, and she really believed that putting money aside was a self-respecting way of getting on in life. Yeah, so those were values to learn. And then there's the ski principle. How many of us have heard of the ski principle? No? Nobody? Let me show you. This is the ski principle. Do we know who this is? A granny. She's rocking it in pink jeans and glasses. She's on the move. So what did she do in the ski principle? She spent the kids' inheritance. So, in terms of savings, enjoy your savings and leave it up. Because at the end of the day, what are you saving for? What are you saving for? Your future? Your future? Or your children's? That's true. Any other insight into why we save?
You're only saving for you.
Absolutely. But who is you? Because I can define you in so many different ways. So I think at the end of the day, if you're going to save it, enjoy it too. So I know a lot of people don't believe in the ski principle, but it's beginning to gain momentum now. And especially if we go to the next slide, you will see that there are a lot of people who don't believe in it. The ones that actually are looking for the inheritance. So really, it's a great choice to spend the kids' inheritance, but to do it with wisdom. But she says that I never gamble more than my beneficiaries can afford to lose. That you need to enjoy yourself. Yeah, next one. Are there any questions? We can debate, we can discuss, and we can have a laugh. But at the end of the day, let's talk about what your grandmother or your mother did to save money. Thank you. So the second participant didn't make it, so I thought let's have a chat around what you'd like to share or learn, indeed to discuss or clarify some of the aspects around savings. And savings, for me, let's broaden it down to investment, to trading, to whatever it takes for us to have a nest egg. Can I also give you the mic? I see you're in deep thought.
Well, I was just thinking about my own mother and grandmother, and they were definitely the money handlers in the family. So I'm just curious, is that must be common in most families?
Yeah.
Is it?
The habit of saving is common. Yes, mothers are always doing it. Mothers are always doing it, and not necessary that that cash comes in handy, but they are doing it regardless. They want to spend the money wisely and properly and save wherever it is, and keep that little cash. It's not necessary that mothers have so much money that they can save and actually come in a big way. But then it's their little way of putting aside whatever they can save. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it's something that actually, just as you said, if you were having 100 rupees, you can spend up to 90. And this is something that our parents told us so wisely. But children today, they don't want to do this at all. They don't want to think about saving. They want to buy the best, the branded, and saving is not part of the current generation. It's very hard. I mean, I'm the grandmother and my grandson is always saying, Daddy will say no for everything. Daddy will say no because I will try to put it for him as a habit, but it's not possible. They can just order online and go and buy what they want, and you know, that habit culture that we got, I'm not able to push it down the line.
Yeah. Well, for a young lady, maybe she can help us with understanding how you are saving money.
I like it because I always think of, well, where I came from, whoever I'm from, today, traffic is very heavy, so you have to leave home early in the morning to get to work. So I always say that I work too hard not to see where my money is going at the end of the month. So I have to see something, so like when I see my car, I know my money went in a vehicle. You know, I rather do that than buy a pair of shoes or, you know, I like to travel too. So like I like to experience things. So at least I know that if you spend money on a phone could fall. And I'll be crying because it's screen mashup. But then I will remember I went to Paris and had a good time.
Absolutely.
So that's how I think about saving my money. And I want to ask you something about, like, you know, sometimes you don't have money and everybody say about investing. Like, how do you want to be nice to know, like, how to invest? And that's one. Like in my country, I come from, we have something called a susu. Do you want to know about that?
What's a susu?
No, a susu is like if you have 10 friends. But you don't want to go to the bank. So with your 10 friends, it's like you decide how much money you want to put in for the month. So it's like 500. So then like January you will get 5,000. And then February you will get your 5,000. So it's like you save it with all that interest. So we have something called a susu. So you have to think about that. But people have to be trustworthy. Because when they get their money, they could disappear. So, you know, that's something
We have something similar in Zambia, and it's called Ichilimba, because you put money together, and it's mostly found amongst women. And what I find the women do is that they put money together, like say 500, and then that money, when if that 10 is 5,000, at the end of the month, she gets this 5,000. I know this particular lady, she goes and builds something to her house. So she had a plot, the house is now roofed, she's almost moving in. And almost leasing it out actually. So at the end of the day, that is also a form of saving, but in an investment manner, because you come up with some property.
In India, you have a kitty. 25 people will get together and they will contribute on each meeting, and one of the persons will get the vote. By rotation. So everybody will get, and everybody is contributing for the whole year, and the money goes one.
Absolutely.
So it's the same thing, but we call it different things.
But they don't go to the bank.
You don't go to the bank.
The person just gets the whole lot together in one go, and they call it a kitty.
So you eliminate the interest of how much the bank will be offer you.
I remember before talking about how do you invest. Before I became a managing director, chief executive, I was a senior director in about 3 banks. And for me, what worked then, because my daughter was in school, I had school fees, she was schooling abroad, so my salary was all spent on educating her. I bought a house. And I bought a house because, like I said, in Zambia, property appreciates, like by quantum leaps. So it's easy for me to invest in a house and also as a means of saving, because what happened was that every quarter, my rental income would come. And my rental income would go towards a school fee. Because my salary was nowhere near being able to afford some of the school fees that we were having. As a chef, training to be a chef in the Cordon Bleu, it was about $18,000 per term, and the term was 4 months. So who can actually afford that kind of money on their salary at that junior level? So it's important that even to answer you in your country, you will know the avenues that are best to invest in. Right now, I don't know if you have children. When you don't have children, that's the best time because then you can actually put money away steadily, religiously, with persistence and focus. Whereas when you have children, you now have to spend that money on their upkeep, on their education, on their health. And you never ever want to have a situation where your child falls ill, you don't have money. So it's very important that you choose for yourself the best. In my country, it's real estate. The Americans, I don't know if are you from America? They might disagree because real estate then took a knock and it actually crumbled. But you need to be aware and sensitive of where you are, in your country, what works. The other thing that works for me in Zambia, when I turned 40, I decided to buy, I promised myself when I was like 38, that when I turn 40, I'm going to buy a brand new Mercedes Benz. I'm walking to the showroom, buy, rip off the plastics myself and drive up. So it was a goal, it was a big dream for me. I turned 40, I was still waiting and trying to put the money together. I was 40 and 11 months when I finally bought it. At least I managed to buy it. But I bought it at the time, it was, Zambia is expensive. It was $45,000 for a C200, brand new, straight from the showroom. And I got my first chief executive role soon after that, and I got a company car. So I kept the Mercedes-Benz for 2 years, hardly used it. But when I decided to sell it, I sold it for the exact same price I had bought it at $45,000. So you need to be able to understand your economy, where you are, and what you can do to actually help you save money. So I took the money and I put it away in an account for somebody's education. Another example I can give you is also in terms of real estate. It's the decisions that we make. Okay, I had my first house I bought. I bought it for like $18,000. I sold it for $36,000. I was so excited with the money. Took my whole family on a trip to the United States. I mean, it was just fun to do. And at the end of the day, I still had school fees to pay. So these are decisions you make that are personal to your situation. But do find that which works the best for you, but doesn't put you in any inconvenience. But it's important that you do have a little bit of self-sacrifice. Yes, ma'am.
I think there's one crucial difference also between what our grandmothers did and what we do now. And our grandmothers lived in the time of farming. And in a farming household, if you didn't store the apples and the corn the winter, you ran out of food. And so the concept with money was if you didn't take some right off the top when the cow was sold, you would starve. So you saved right off the top before you even saw the money. And what really helps people today is instead of trying to find the money to save it before you see it. When you have a paycheck and it comes in and you've got $1,000, take 20% of that, $200, and put it away. Because you're putting it away for you, not for anyone else. And then, you know, if winter comes and your car needs brakes, you can take some of that instead of putting it on a credit card.
And that's so important because that's what our grandmothers taught us. Take it up front, put it away. Because at the end of the day, when it's in your hands, there's so many competing priorities that it's hard to resist. But I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Is there a point where it's too late to get started?
It's never too late. The quantum sizes might be different if you're starting later on in life, whereas if you're younger, you could start smaller, but as you get older, you can do a little bit more. It's never too late. I'm a profound saver, if there's such a thing. I believe in saving, and the reason I believe that is historical, my background. So at the end of the day, what works for you must work for you at the time you are ready to do it. But it's always good to start early. It's always good to start early.
I remember a time I was looking at somebody was talking about,
That's okay. You've got a soft voice.
So, I remember a time somebody was speaking about money, like a tip for young lady who just asked if never too, if it's too late to start. Like, what I did a month was like, write down everything you spend on. Even if you buy a gum, write it down. And then at the end of the month, you look back and you see how you spend your money. And then you could like look and see things that wasn't really necessary at that time. So even if it's like a $20 to start with, you know, you can see like the coffee you bought on the way. No, just buy like a can of coffee and package it. And when you go in your office, you make the coffee. So that same $20 could buy a coffee for a whole 3 months. When you just spend like $20 on one cup of coffee for that day. So little simple things you could tune and cut out that you will see eventually will add up to something.
And that's so true. And I like the example you gave us that our grandmothers grew up in the time of agriculture. It was the agricultural revolution. But when you look in Africa, that is the base of every household. To have a little patch of land, to have a little homestead, to have a little farm somewhere. So those actual realities helped motivate people to spend. Because when I looked at my grandmother, she managed to educate 10 children. 10 children. My grandfather was a civil servant. He died while she was still young. And at the end of the day, she had to raise 10 kids, put them through school. And how? Through her little patch, through the handmade gowns, through everything that she could to save money. By the time her first few children could actually make money, she was well on her way in educating the rest of the group. So it's very important that we choose that which works best for us, and we have to start. We have to make a start somewhere. And it starts with self-sacrifice. We cannot say without self-sacrifice, because I don't believe that people who have a lot actually feel the need to save. But those that you don't have and need to make an effort must make that effort. It's such a worthwhile effort. So if there are no more questions, I'd like to wrap this up. And thank you everybody for your participation. And let's all emulate our grannies and grandmothers as we save money. And in fact, coming to India for me was part of saving as well. Because I'm self-sponsored, I wanted to come and experience the Women's Economic Forum on my own without the fetters of the corporate assignment. But I'm having great fun. But thank you, it was a real pleasure meeting you all.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing your nice and valuable thoughts with us. I have also remembered my grandmother. Thank you so much for attending this session.
Thank you. I like this session.
San Francisco? Okay. Santa Barbara. Oh, really? Oh, cool. As far as we did. That's a long time. Somebody told me that's the longest flight in the world. Can't go further.
Really, I was wondering about that because I came here in January and it was 18 hours. I went to Newark, New Jersey, and then to Delhi, straight to Delhi. And last time it was 20 hours. I went to China and then to Delhi.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
So I went the other way.
24.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we went to Seattle and then, well, I say somebody.
Yeah.
Seattle and then Dubai.
Yeah.
But the Dubai had 5 hour layover. So the longest one was
Yeah, that was 14 hours.
Yeah, in China. That is really brutal.
It's so brutal. Even though it's overnight, you can stay and stuff away.
So you can't rest. If it was first class, it would be bad.
That's right.
You know?
The idea for this movie was to worked in one of the public schools in the city for 2 years.
If you're given the right guidance.
That the teenagers, they really self-manage to the expectations they are confronted with. So if they are surrounded by low expectations, they will be low outcomes. And in fact, almost a third of teenagers in this district leave school without any qualifications. On the other hand, if teenagers are continuing to successful at high expectations, then their performance goes up and up and up, and they can really achieve. And so noticing this, I just I just had to set up this place where teenagers are continuously surrounded by high expectations and the support to achieve those goals, and then they
Just
can
kept
be
trying to grow, and then I borrowed money from one house to buy another, and then everything.
Sometimes people ask me if I believe that this one school can really make a difference. Yes, it can, because I live in a country where teachers and students in inner city low-income communities are surrounded by low expectations that society puts on them. A lot of people label these kids as achievement. And I want to show all of the students and all of the teachers out there that that's not true. That if they believe and if they take the steps to achieve their vision, then these children can achieve great things. And so I want to set an example, and I want to show the others that it's possible, so that they can find their own ways that work within their own community and their own context, but to make it possible for all children to have the potential to fulfill their own potential. Thinking about working on maybe 5 years from now gives me a real visualization. Because in 5 years we will get the first cohort of students who will have completed their apprenticeship without the school, and that really is what people have hoped that people the next step after school to be successful as well. So thinking about our first cohort of students coming back into the school to be mentors to the students that come out of them. Yeah, that is such a joy, and I think of particular students and what they will do, and I'm really looking forward to welcoming them back in 5 years.
And when I came to it's like I come 3 times a level of wow. I know. They all look the same. They all make that. No, it's
Yeah, very old.
I even a couple of days yesterday morning, like 3 days ago.
No, yeah, exactly. Before United Friday, we go home.
Just happened.
I think
Yes, but that will actually cross over to saving it.
But yeah,
I know it's Friday, Japanese much more. Go on. You want to argue about the responsibility for what she has. And at the end of the day, she wants to make her own money. And this is the net we're all holding our breath for, so that she can now go and do whatever she wants in this world. She's willing to plan.
So if I see you later, right? Do you have one? Because I will, it's so funny. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Yeah, we need to have those values. And that's the point I was trying to tell the gentleman. We need to still in the right values at the right time, at the early age. And my mama, she used to grow up. We have a Bemba way of saying, I don't have money. And when you translate it, it means I'm burnt. Okay, I'm burnt, I have no money, you know. And whenever she would do anything, I'll tell her, I've got no money today. And then she said, are you burnt? I said, yes, I'm burnt, you know, because she understood that you can't have it. Yes.
Charity.
I was yeah.
Chastity. That's not right.
Oh, chastity is good. Yeah.
Charity thing, but oh, thank you. Awesome.
Yeah. Please do. Guess what my properties are?
I hope so.
Well, you know, I'm buying up.
Here's my
Yeah, so, thank you, sir.
Yeah, I'm excited now. Yeah.
Sorry.
Ready? Where we going?
Absolutely. And the choices we make are such that we must make sure they work for us.
Our room?
Whatever we, whatever we do.
No, I don't want to walk back.
What do you want to do? You want to sit here and go through another, just keep going somewhere?
Yeah.
And especially in
As
that,
opposed to walking
we
back
have
to
a
the-
Chinese and Indian.
I love empowering women. I just,
Okay, let's find a women in leadership or something.
Okay, there's a huge housing deficit in Zambia. Entire housing deficit, but so we never show one should not always have one temperature. So like for example,
walk directly to the next room.
The next room. Directly to the next room.
I don't need to repeat that 5,000. Because my house is generating rent every single day when it's okay. So you have to be very more flexible. There's no hard and fast. Because if they say no, this week is yeah, interest rates are extra. For 2,000, I can get it. Easily get to the agents that you can work with.
Hi everyone, I'm Nicole Doyler and I'm with the Truth Initiative, and I am so honored to receive this award as Iconic Thought Leader of the Decade in Media. I was humbled when I heard the news that I was receiving this award, to be honored with such a group of amazing women and a mission that I have such a commitment to in my own career. I've worked for many years in advertising, and it was wonderful to be able to make the kind of change in the world that Truth has allowed me to make. When I first started, 23% of youth smoked in the year 2000 in the United States. Today we're down to 7%. We can actually be the generation that will end smoking in the United States, and that's something that I am extremely proud of. It's a David and Goliath struggle every single day, and I wake up with that renewed sense of purpose just by knowing that there's women in the world like you who are being honored today that are there making change. I sincerely appreciate this honor, and I want you to enjoy the rest of your conference, and I thank you for this contribution. Hi everyone, I'm Nicole Doyler, and I'm with the Truth Initiative, and I am so honored.
One of the things I did after working in that, I had access to cheap I'll take a loan and I'll send it to my accountant. And for 3 months, they deduct from my salary. But I said that so I take that loan, say 50,000, take stress, put it in my life. But I don't have the money to get it. Please do. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you very Thank you so much for coming and for your participation.
Good afternoon, all of you. Very warm welcome to Women Economic Forum 2016. Our next session will be handled by Mr. Ketan Makwana. He is Executive Board Member of Talent Finder from UK. He will discuss about mindset, attitude and behavior as a workshop. So please sir, welcome.
Thank you. Oh, thank you. So today we will do a little bit more teaching on the speaking. So I thought we would do it.
I called them out. I said it's going to be fantastic.
Oh, fantastic.
Where are you from?
I'm from the UK. My parents are here. They're from Kenya. So they're the truth disruptors.
You're from India?
Originally, my family's from India. So my grandparents are from Portland, and then they moved to Kenya, and then they moved from Kenya to the UK. And then I stopped the trend. I didn't move anywhere. I just stayed. So for some of those of you who came to my keynote yesterday, I was talking about maximizing your potential in moving landscapes, and it's all about developing an elastic mindset. The world is changing, and we went through some statistics about how the world is changing, yet there are certain things that get left behind. And if you're not prepared to create an elastic mindset, you're going to be left behind. Now, the power of the mind is such that you only use 10% of it right now. Only use 10%. Only 10% of your mind is the conscious mindset. 30 to 40% is subconscious, and this is where the little bit of the kind of conversation that goes on between the front of your head and almost the middle of your head, which means that almost 50% of your mind is unconscious. And that's where your memories and your triggers and your emotions are actually stored. And what happens is, as you go on in life, the unconscious throws these memories back out. So it's like I can talk to you about, I can say to you, imagine you're standing outside on a bright sunny day. Your unconscious will throw a memory or a photograph the last time you were out there. It's there, but you just don't know it's there until it's almost stimulated to come out. So we need to create more of a balance between competence, knowledge and confidence, which is what I was talking about yesterday. And one of the biggest things about overcoming fear and challenge is being able to learn and unlearn. When we learn, we create this rigid part of our mindset that this is the way to do it, this is how it's done, and this is the way I should do it. And then when you have fear within yourself, as I said yesterday, it's kind of false evidence that fear is real. What we need to do is start to unlearn ourselves and create a new perspective. So part of this presentation that I wanted to do, I've got 2 or 3 different things. I'm going to just take you through a mind map of someone who has a rigid mindset and someone that has an elastic one. I'm then going to show you a very short video. So maybe they'll bring some popcorn in for you for that. It's about 6 minutes. It's a movie. If any of you want to store it for yourself, you can find it on YouTube called Why Do We Fall? Why Do We Fall? Okay, it's a really inspiring film. 6 minutes. Then I'm going to take you through some of the key learnings and traits of that video. And then I'm going to do something a little bit disruptive. We're going to work on some fears and challenges. And I'm going to try and show you in the remaining 40 minutes that we have that we can turn a fear or a challenge into an opportunity. So think about something that you fear or you have a challenge on during this process, and then I'll be taking them live and we'll be working through. What I want you to be able to take away from the workshop is it's not the outcome that we produce, but it's the process that I'm taking you through, because you can apply it to anything that you want to. So, you may not see this slide very well. The back, oh, yeah. Change that for me. Is it not changing? Okay, so, it's a bit of a busy slide. But what you have on the left-hand side is what we call a fixed mindset, and then what you've got is what we call a growth mindset. A fixed mindset is, when it comes to challenges, you avoid them. Oh, I've got to walk a mile. I think I might take the car. Oh, I haven't got the money, I'll get it out later. You kind of avoid anything that requires you to put effort in. Obstacles you give up very, very easily. You can see it, I'm the kind of guy that goes to the gym all the time, right? I do more walking than I would go to the gym, but I'm the kind of guy that will give up if I went into the gym because it's just not my type of environment of stimulation. Effort sees effort as a fruitless or worse. What's the point? How many times have you said to yourself, what's the point in doing this? When you think back, could be anything. Could be anything from actually making something else extra for dinner, or going out to someone's house, or to try and get the next sale in your business. What's the point? That's a closed mindset because you just don't understand what's coming next. Effort, criticism. How many of you take criticism constructively? Put your hands up. Good. Okay, that's great. I love that. Sometimes depends on the person. Okay, sorry? You cry. That's fine. That's okay. You're releasing, which is good. Because there's 3 letters that come against a fixed mindset called EGO. When someone criticizes you, I don't want you to think that they're trying to put you down. They're actually criticizing you because they care. How many of you have been to a restaurant and had poor service and actually complained and demanded because you care about service? You care about the service. You want proper service. You want that business to be better. But how many times does the restaurant actually listen to you, apart from saying, sorry, here is half a free bottle of wine, or here is 50% off your next visit? You need to listen, because within the jewel of that criticism is actually your next opportunity in disguise. Does that make sense? Success of others. I am a big stickler about this. We should never, ever compare our success to anyone else's, because it's our own. What I see as success is what other people may not see. I can't compare myself to anyone else because I'm not them. Everyone in this world is born different. And this is the beauty of being different. Because if everyone was the same, we would have a boring world, wouldn't we? It's so boring. We want to have activity, we want to have difference, we want opinions, we want criticism. But a closed mindset is someone who will always say, they've got something better than I do. This is what I want. But they're not prepared to put the work. They're not prepared to look under the iceberg to what it took for that person to produce what they have. All they see is the surface. They just see the top surface and say, I have this a lot in lectures and presentations that I give for young people or startups in the UK and other parts of the world. They say to me, oh, it's okay for you, Ken. You know people. You've got contacts. You've worked in government. And I'm like, boy, I should just kick you up the bum so hard. Because 6 years ago, it wasn't like that. It's taken me 6 years to get to where I am today. It took McDonald's. Ray Kroc said it took me 30 years of being, to become an overnight success. And boy, that was a long night. Anything you do in life will take time, as long as you persevere between. So, a fixed mindset is a result of people that don't take criticism, they repel it, they're not prepared to be open, they always look at what the next door neighbour has rather than what they have. And they always have an excuse of not to do something. So whatever it is that you're trying to do in business or in life, whether it's social, it's empowerment, you want to make a difference to other people in life, great, that's a great vision, but go and do it. It's what we call hustling. Oh, it's called hustling. It's actually getting things done. Keep persevering. Focus and learn, because what I'm going to say to you is success is a factor that society bestows upon people. Okay? That success is a destination. We all aim to get to that destination of success. But I'm going to be honest with you. when you start this journey towards success, you'll never reach your destination. Shall I tell you why? Because during your journey, your path will change. It's what we call a pivot. And if you don't pivot alongside this, you will actually start walking an alternate path. Your expectation is here, and your delivery comes here. And that gap that we have between expectation and delivery is what people deem as failure. And there is no such thing in my world as failure. I will never fail. I will never fail. I can only learn. And that's the trait of a growth mindset. We embrace challenges. We persist in the face of setbacks. It doesn't matter what people say. I don't care what people think. I just did a Facebook Live interview just now. Onto Live, I was taking Q&As just before the session, and some guy from Turkey, I can show it to you later, some guy from Turkey goes, "What the hell are you talking about, you bald man?" That's what he said, and I'm like, okay, that's your opinion. We just carry on. And actually what happened as we carried on, one of the fans that was on the Facebook Live said, "People like you should be dragged out and shot." What me? If we carry on doing what we're doing, people will continually start to move within the momentum. I can't force anyone to be in this room. I can't force anyone to do whatever, what I want them to do. All I can do is empower you. It's down to you to take that action, that step. But know that you're not alone. I've heard so many talks over the last 2 days about the support and how the network works. Entrepreneurship is an isolated and very lonely world. To go and build a network, build capacity, ask questions, be never afraid to share ideas, because no one's going to steal them. And if they do, it's probably the right idea anyway. So, we see effort in the path of mastery, we learn from criticisms, and we find lessons and inspirations and successes in others. I do this every day. My clients are my inspiration. The people that I work with are the people that teach me. Because I learn more from them than I could possibly fathom from a book. Real life needs you to practice. So to grow an elastic mindset, keep practicing what you're doing. Don't focus on the result, focus on the effort. Because the moment you stop putting effort, your result's going to change. The moment you start listening to the criticism, your result's going to change. Like this lady said, she cries. But it's a great mechanism because most people just take it straight to their heart. And then it sits there and says, maybe I'm doing the wrong thing, I shouldn't be doing this. People don't accept me for it. And I'll tell you why people don't expect. The Prime Minister of the UK is the one that labelled me a disruptor. I'm non-academic, I've only got base level qualifications, yet I stand on stages in front of Vice Chancellors telling them how we're going to change education for the future. I'm not a business degree graduate, yet I've helped more startups around the world and growth and sales. I'm not a medically qualified, and I have had jobs in pharmaceuticals and in the healthcare arena where I've launched products. Anything's possible if you want it to be. If you want it to be. So change the words from impossible to impossible. I'm going to do a little trick with you on some words in a minute. So I'm going to stop gassing on for now. I'm going to let you watch this little video very quickly. Hopefully this works.
Let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is going to hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done.
Pain is temporary. It may last for a minute, or an hour, or a day, or even a year, but eventually it will subside. and something else will take its place. If I quit, however, it will last forever.
The margin for error is so small. I mean, 1/2 a step too late or too early, and you don't quite make it. 1/2 second too slow, too fast, you don't quite catch it. The inches we need are everywhere around us. They're in every break of the game, every minute, every second.
You got a dream, you got to protect it. People can't do something themselves. They want to tell you you can't. They want something, go get it. Period.
Don't be afraid to fail. You can't always win, but don't be afraid of making decisions.
You have to believe that something different can happen. He who says he can and he who says he can't are both usually right. Most of you say you want to be successful, but you don't want it bad. You just kind of want it. You don't want it badder than you want to party. You don't want it as much as you want to be cool. Most of you don't want success as much as you want to sleep.
Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us.
Deep down, ask yourselves, who do you want to be? Figuring out for yourselves what makes you happy, no matter how crazy it may sound to the people.
Make a choice. Like, just decide what it's going to be, who you're going to be, how you're going to do it. Just decide.
Why not? Why can't I be the MVP of the league? Why can't I be the best player in the league? I don't see why. Why can't I do that?
What did you say to the kid? It ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit. And keep moving forward. How much you can take. And keep moving forward.
Get up. And don't ever give up. We can stay here, get the shit kicked out of us, or we can fight our way back into the light. We can climb out of hell. 1 inch at a time. To be able at any moment to sacrifice what you are for what you will become. Most of you won't be successful because when you study it and you get tired, you quit. I don't do well in math. You're right. You ain't never studied. I'm not good at writing because you have never written before. Talent you have naturally. Skill is only developed by hours and hours and hours of beating on your craft. If you are not making someone else's life better, then you're wasting your time. Don't cry to give up. Try to keep going. Don't cry to quit. You're already in pain. You already hurt. Get a reward from it.
Now if you know what you're worth, then go out and get what you're worth. But you gotta be willing to take the hits and not point the finger saying you ain't where you want to be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that and that ain't you. You're better than that.
Because every day is a new day. Every moment is a new moment. So now you got to go out and show them that I'm a different creature. Now!
I'm gonna show you how great I am.
The 17th chapter of St. Luke is written, the kingdom of God is within man, not one man nor a group of men, but in all men, in you. You, the people, have the power. The power to create machines, the power to create evidence. You, the people, have the power to make this life free and beautiful, to make this life a wonderful adventure. Now, what are you gonna do?
Because limits, like fears, are often just an illusion.
Limits and fears are only an illusion. There's going to be pain, there's going to be panic, there's going to be fear. But you have to drive through. And it's, as I said, you don't have to do this alone. There are people around you that will stimulate you, conspire with you, inspire you. I want you to go away after this conference, and I want to challenge you. Do one thing that scares you. Because if you can do one thing that scares you, you can build, and I mean seriously build, a fearless mindset. If you can overcome just one little hurdle, just think of the ripple effect that you can create within your life. Winners aren't just born, they have to work through this. Everything in success is built through hard work and perseverance. But it's all an illusion. So, I want you to tell me, just look at that, and I want you to pick out, what does it say? What's the first 3 words that come out? Okay? Don't tell me just yet. Have you got it? All done it? Next slide. How many of you thought that? Be honest. Come on.
No, here.
Click it. Look what one letter can do to the whole perspective of something. One letter changes the way that you behave and your attitude towards something. People perceive straight away there's opportunity nowhere. Others see it as an opportunity now here. I want you to learn that the things that you feel, you experience around you, it's constantly producing a behavior, and that behavior sits in your unconscious mind. And slowly it starts to drift into your subconscious and then into your conscious. The unconscious part of it is your behavior. The subconscious part of this is your attitude. The conscious part of it is your action. What you have from the front end of this drives, but it's all been spirited through the way you see something. Next slide, please. So, I'm going to tell you a very quick story. Do you guys like stories? Okay, cool. Don't fall asleep, okay? It's not that long. How many of you have ever said, oh my God, that's a bad idea? Have you ever come up with a bad idea? Something's really bad idea. Actually, in my world, there's no such thing as a bad idea. Okay, and I'll explain why. How many of you been to Canada? How many from Canada? Okay. Anyone been to Canada in winter? Lots of snow, right? Mounds and mounds of the stuff. Actually, when the snow falls, it lands on the telephone lines. And with the weight of the snow, the lines bow. Now, when the lines bow, it disrupts the communication between house to house and business to business. So at the recent Canadian Telecom Summit, the CEO stood up and said, we've got a big problem. This snow is causing a real problem for business. Our shareholders aren't happy, our customers aren't happy. I need this problem solved. You're all going to solve it. You're all my employees now. I'm the boss. You're going to solve it. No idea is a bad idea. Right, tell me. How are we going to solve this big snow problem that's falling on lines? Everyone looks just the same way you're looking at me right now, thinking, what the hell is he going on about? Until one person put their hand up and goes, sir, I've got the idea. And I said, what's that? And he said, give everyone in the company a baseball bat. What? A baseball bat? What are you going to do with a baseball bat? It's simple. We're going to go out, we're going to hit the bat against the post will shake, the line will shake, the snow will fall. Problem solved. I did say there's no such thing as a bad idea. So he gave everyone in the workplace a baseball bat. And at lunchtime, they all went out to hit bats against posts. The next day, only half the workforce turns up for work. What's going on? Boss, we've got a bit of problem. What's the problem? Well, some people got lost in the snow, and others have repetitive strain injuries from hitting bats against posts. So we're going to be a bit light on the ground. He goes, no. He goes, I've got all this snow, half a workforce, I need this problem solved. No idea is a bad idea. You guys are going to solve it, and I get to work and solve this problem. So this time they sat in a circle. Just the half remaining employees of the company. And they said, what are we going to do? He goes, what can we do or use other than people? So someone else goes, what else do we have a high population of in Canada? So someone else goes, we've got bears. Canada's got lots of bears. So he says, how are you going to use the bears? He goes, well, bears like honey. Maybe we can use honey. How are you going to get the honey on the posts? So he goes, we can paint it on. And the guy almost lost his job for the whole baseball bat incident. Turned around and goes, remember, we can't send people out to paste. So someone put their hand up right at the end, the most quietest one. After listening to everything, he goes, I've got it. Boss, give me a helicopter, a barrel of honey, and a spray gun. What the hell are you going to do? I'm going to fly in, I'm going to spray the post, the bears will see the honey, they'll scratch the post will shake, the line will fall. But the line will shake, the snow will fall. He goes, if you fall in the snow, that won't be a bad idea. Anyway, requisitioned a helicopter, a barrel of honey, and a spray gun. Dresses up like Rambo, gets up onto the helicopter, off he goes. Pilot, take me to the first post. He's off to the first post. He arrives, he goes, pilot, I'm not in range. Get me into range, get me closer, get me closer. He's getting really close to it. He's in range now. He's about to take aim and shoot. His fingers on the trigger. Pilot said, stop. What happened? What happened? How? The blades blew the snow off the telephone. Now, in the heart of winter in Canada, Canadian Telecom sent helicopters straight down telephone lines to blow the snow off. But let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, it started with someone talking about baseball bats. My point being is there's no such thing as a bad idea. There is what we call the accident on purpose moment. It pivots. You need to build, you need to grow. So whatever it is you're doing in life, when you're looking at it and you think, I'm scared of this, or this isn't happening, or this isn't working, and oh, that's daft, I should never do it this way, it's probably the bit that you're thinking is daft that's going to get you to where you want to. Remember I said to you that in this journey, you'll never get to your end destination because your landscape and your path will change. It's up to you to pivot along the line. So remember, baseball bats and helicopters can change the world. Next slide. So, this is what we're going to work on now. We've got about half an hour. Okay. I'm going to talk you through this very quickly. For those of you who weren't at my talk yesterday, I came up with this idea called ISBA. It's a way of actually overcoming challenge, fear, and working on a more progressive, elastic mindset. Now, before we go into this, and I'm going to take some live examples from some of you, and we're going to try and work it through this process, I want to tell you how I came up with this. So, and I'm going to do this as quickly as I can. I do like stories, so I hope you guys are okay with that. But in 2011, we had the riots in the UK, and as a point of the riots, I perceive this as something where young people kind of shouting out and saying, we've got issues, there are issues here that we can't solve, we don't know where our futures are going. So I came up with an idea to actually have an event, but no one was taking me seriously. So at that point, I decided I was going to appoint the Prime Minister of the UK to help me. But it's not as straightforward as just going up and ringing, hello Mr. Cameron, can you help me out? It doesn't really work that way. But cut long story short, through a process of networking and sharing visions, I managed to get in front of the Prime Minister. And I made some real bad choices before I met the Prime Minister. I went out and instead of sitting in a coffee shop waiting, I went to a bar and had a few beers. And I pretty much was fluffing my lines when I got to the stage of meeting him. And I want you to recognize this, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes you work really hard to get to a point. You've got to the point you want to be at. And have you ever felt that you fluffed your lines? Have you ever felt like you're losing control? Have you ever felt like, oh my God, it took me 6 months to get here, and in 45 seconds it's just gone, it's taken away from me? Have you felt like that? What did you do? You prayed and this woman, this lady really likes crying, right? You prayed and she cried. Okay, you took some action, but if you are destined, if this is your purpose, if this is your mission, something naturally will take over from you. And at that point, what I actually did is, as the Prime Minister was walking away, in his backyard in Downing Street, I put my arm on his arm. I literally grabbed hold of his arm and I'm like, oh my God, what have I just done? Now remember, there's no such thing as a bad idea, okay? But I did really think at that point they'll never let Indians into Downing Street ever again. Anyway, I swiveled him round, which was quite dramatic, and I did this. I told him about an issue. In 45 seconds, I imparted a vision on how to actually get someone to come and work with me. I told him that we have 1 million young unemployed people in the UK, and as a result of this, they're going onto the streets and rioting. These issues are causing deaths, and we don't know the uncertainty of where the future is going. My solution is I want to produce an event that will showcase and help young people find opportunities, but also give industry and institutions an opportunity to see what young people can do. My barrier, my challenge, is that no one takes me seriously. They don't know who I am. So all I want from you, Mr. Prime Minister, is a letter. Just the one letter that will endorse the show, and I'll do the rest from there. That letter came in July 2012. In October 2012, I had raised £250 million and put together a national show, which is still the largest show in the UK for young people. We gave away £750,000 of funding, startup funding, social enterprise funding, jobs, apprenticeships, you name it, we impacted. But what I'm talking about here is if you don't follow a process to understand the issues, you're never going to get to the destination that you want to be at. Next, sorry, not next slide yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at an issue. The problem we have is every time we look at an issue, we start thinking about what we can't do. I want to start up a business, but I can't because I haven't got the money. I want to start a business, but I can't because I don't know how to code. I want to start a business, but I don't know if I have the time. I want to do this, but I can't do this. I want to stop that BS. Stop thinking about what you can't, and I want you to flip your head. So what we're going to do is put yourself in the room of possibilities. I want you to start ideating what the solution to that problem is going to be. I want you to start thinking about, if I could have everything and anything in the world, what do I want and what do I need to solve that problem? Now, you've got what we call a dream. You've got a visualization. If you can't dream it, you can't chase it. If you haven't dreamt it, all you're going to chase is your tail. So anything you're going to chase, you're going to become what we call a busy fool. Then, reality kicks in. Not blockades, barriers. Does everyone know what barrier is? We've got one right outside the hotel. What happens when you have a barrier presented in front of you? Now over here in India, what I've seen is just go beep, and the barrier lifts. You've had to take some form of action to overcome the barrier. It's not there to blockade you, it's there to challenge you to say, do something, and I'll get out of your way. But everyone that builds capacity in their idea gets to this point and goes, oh, there's a barrier there, that's it, I can't do anymore. Do you know that if it's meant to be, you'll have more challenges than you'll have easiness in what you're doing? Which means that every time you're coming against the barrier in a challenge, you're getting bigger, stronger, better, faster at what you're doing. And that tells me, when I get to this point, it's what's stopping me. It tells me instantly what I've got to go out and do. So, the way this works, and hopefully this will work in this session here, is the actions that you take are to overcome the barriers that you have, the challenges, to the idea that you want, to the problem that you want to solve. So if we turn it upside down, this is how we're going to work. But we're going to return it back out to ISBA. So can I have the next slide, please? So, who's got issues? I say that when I go, who's got issues? I've got issues. Does anyone want to give me a challenge that they have currently that they're facing? Yeah. Obesity. Okay. When you are talking about overeating, when you come and look at a problem, we are very macro level. We look at problems from a very large perspective. Obesity, you said obesity. How big is that subject and topic? But then you started to bring it down to one capacity, which is overeating. So, when you look at your issues, the first thing you've got to do is bring it down to a micro level, not a macro. Stop trying to solve large problems, because you'll never solve them. Find one strand, one thread of that problem. Now this lady here has mentioned one called overeating. Who else has got an issue?
Gluttony.
Sorry?
Gluttony.
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 Gluttony. Oh. This is glutton for punishment, that is, basically. Okay, who else has got a challenge? Yep.
Raising brand awareness.
Raising brand awareness. Okay, that's a good one.
Over-worrying.
Over-worrying. Okay, interesting.
Over-worrying, over-fearing.
Overcomplicating things. Okay, that's a good one. Anyone else want to share these? Because we're going to do these in quick succession. I'm going to take every single one of these and we're going to come out with an action at the end. Procrastinate. Oh, I love that one. That's my favorite one. Procrastination. We're all procrastinators of the world. Okay. For each of you that have raised that problem, I want you to now start thinking deeper about that issue. You want to raise awareness on your brand. But what is the deep issue? Is it that people are not recognizing it? Not the effort that you're putting in. Where is the root of that problem? Where is the root of the procrastination? Sorry? Marriage. Okay.
You have to be with the family, extended family. You want to do something.
Yeah.
But then there's your husband, your children.
Okay.
And kind of you reach the third month and you say, oh God, there's really problem, and then get back
to the. So it's the cycle. It's the so now when you start asking yourself the question what and why, just like a child says, why is this? Why? And you're like, shut up. What you're doing is you're breaking it down to a real micro level. You're now bringing it down to a core issue. Now you've got the core issue in your head. Okay? Next slide, please. Right. You are in the room of possibilities. Now this is what we call unconventional thinking. You will find this a little bit uncomfortable to do. Okay? But I want you to now say, you've got everything and anything in your power. Everything and anything in your power. You can have anything you want. You want $1 million, you want Richard Branson, you want a better husband, whatever it is that you want, you can have everything. I want you to now start listing what is it you want and what is it you need. What is it you want and what is it you need? Be more prescriptive. From the procrastination, what there is a desire within. When you come up with a problem, it's counterfaced with your perception of something else that you see. It's a problem. It's only a problem because you see it as a problem. So I'm saying to you now, unconventionally, you can have anything you want. What do you want? You want Martin Sorrell to be your brand PR guy? Do you want David Beckham to be the face of your brand? I don't care. I've had people say, I want my shop on Mars. I want you to think, dig deep, go unconventional, because this is the only 2 or 3 minutes you're going to have to do it ever again. I want you to think beyond the convention. This is not about being pragmatic. This is about
What you want and what you need.
What do you want?
You want desire. Like
Yeah.
you imagine, you want the whole world in you.
Yes.
Right. And need is an assistant.
Yes. So what kind of assistant? Who could, you may have someone that you over-worry, so I want the world's best coach to be alongside me. Put the name down who it is. I want this person. The reason I'm getting you to do this is I'm getting you to take your problem and I'm getting you to visualize what the solution to that problem is. Okay? Make it as big and as bold as you can be. Because what you're asking for, it's not that far away. I had someone a couple of weeks ago says she designs customized shoes, and she goes, my brand it's not getting out there. People aren't doing this. People aren't. I said, so we took her through this process, and I said to her when I got to this stage, I said, whose feet do you want those shoes on? And she goes, sir, and I said, I'm giving you 15 minutes to think about every single person in the world that you want wearing your shoes. And she made a list. Okay? She made a list. She got up to about 80 people. And I said, right, as a part of the process when we get to Barry, I started to get her to cut this down. I said, right, out of that 80, I want to turn that into 50. Out of that 50, I want to turn it into 10. Out of those 10, I want to turn it into 5. She got to 5 names. And one of the first names on there was a lady called Rihanna. You might have heard of the artist. I'm 3 connections away from Rihanna. I know somebody that works with her as an artist. If she hadn't dreamt it and thought it and practiced it, how would I know that she wants to be connected to someone that I'm able to help? And she's shocked. She's like, no way. And I said, as a part of the world tour that Rihanna's doing right now, we'll get a pair of shoes over to her. Let's see if we can take a picture with it. If you dare to dream it, dare to build it, it can happen. So I want you to be as open with the solution as possible. Think of the most thinkable things that you can possibly dream of. I know it sounds fluffy, it sounds why? It doesn't make sense. Remember, stop being a rigid mindset. Open your mind for growth. Okay, time's up. Next slide. Okay, have you guys got a list of things that you want and need? Okay, who wants to share some with me? What would you like?
Well, funny enough, I had Rihanna and Beyonce
See?
as our clients.
Okay.
We'd like to break into the banking sector.
Banking sector, okay. What else would you like? What would you like need?
Household name.
Household name. What would you need? What do you think you need?
A marketing budget.
Okay.
Connections, access to these people.
Okay, good. Anyone else want to share some stuff? Yeah.
I see myself as a head, and then I have a NID designers working with me, then I have a marketing world's best team opening my stores all over, then I am the leader of designing so many things.
Wow. You feel good about it, right?
Yeah.
It make you feel good? Make you feel happy? Yeah. Good. What would you like to share anything that you want to need?
Yes, I want education,
Yeah.
more and more spread out.
Yeah.
And especially not an education of books and all that, but experience.
Experiences like this?
Yeah, like remove fear and all that.
Okay.
That is an education I want from school children
Yeah.
to mothers
Yeah.
and to the nation.
Great. Wonderful. Thank you. Anyone else want to share any other parts of their solutions? Would you like to share one?
I want to be slim and trim, and I need to go on a diet.
Okay. Great. Look, you're not crying about it now, you're smiling about it. See? See? One little thing where you start dreaming about what you want rather than thinking about what you don't have, it changes the perspective and your heart. Let's get back to reality now. I can't give you all of this right now. You want an ultimate marketing team, you may want to stop procrastinating in a particular way. I don't know if I can help physically to trim you down before you leave this class. I'll try. You're talking about inspirited education to remove fear. You're talking about budgets and access to markets. Okay? What's stopping you? You've got 2 minutes to start thinking about what's stopping you. Reach everything that you've just dreamt. I want to know now. What's stopping you? What's stopping you? Don't just think about it for 2 minutes. And then I'm going to share what's stopping you. Because I'm telling you, you're only 2 or 3 steps away from where you want to be. It's just you never look at it that way. You always look at what you can't do. You always think about what's not available. Whereas when you start to dream out of that box, going on a diet, you're talking about going on a diet. You don't have to go on a diet. You just got to change your diet. And diet, as the very word of it is I'm a very protein-rich type of guy. I love my protein. But I run around, I don't have the standard eating habits, and trust me, I was a lot bigger than what you see today. There was one thing actually in between that helped me with weight loss, and that was malaria, but let's say that's not an option today, okay? It's not an option, but the seriousness of what I'm talking about here is I want you to start believing in what you can do rather than what you can't. And I want you to dream. Because when you dream like this, look, you're all smiling. You're not looking like this. Oh, I've got money. I've got this. Oh. It's nothing. You've got to have, Dr. Aurora said this at the opening address. We're all about energy, we're all about power. I think I sat in one of the recent presentations where someone said that actually all we're made up is of cells of power. Little individual cells of power. Now, all your negativity that turns you ill and doesn't make you feel good about yourself, that's just your energy passing out. But the minute you approach something with a smile, it changes. This is why in customer service, they always say smile. Even if you're not in front of the customer and you're on the phone, you're like, hello, 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 hello.
You're supposed to be smiling.
Yeah. It smiles so much then. For those of you that don't like smiling, put Vaseline on your teeth. You'll always smile then. This is what trust me, when I got married, I was like, I can't smile anymore now for the camera. So quickly, I just put some Vaseline on my teeth. Like, yeah, I can smile now. What's stopping you? Right, who wants to share what's stopping you? Come on.
For all that, you need a lot of money.
Okay, so money's stopping you. Okay, what else? I don't think you do need money, but come on. What else is stopping you?
Maybe if I don't need the courage to ask for money.
Okay, courage to ask for money.
Means maybe some investor would be ready, but I've never asked for it.
Okay, what else?
And then maybe just being in the dream of being there, so you are not even taking an action.
Okay, so you're still, feeling scared that you'll end up just dreaming it and not doing it. Okay, there's 3 good ones, great. What about you?
What we're lacking is connections, but I guess if we look into that deeper, maybe we're not asking enough for the connections, and it's fear of failure.
Okay, so there's a fear of failure. You're thinking to yourself, actually, maybe you haven't investigated your network any further right now. That's stopping you getting to where you want to get to a certain extent. What else? What else do you think?
Knowledge.
Knowledge, okay, good. So list those 3 that are stopping you, yes?
Stopping me is not my strong willpower.
Your strong willpower.
If I have a strong willpower, I can achieve anything.
Okay.
But that is stopping me to construct my willpower.
So you've got a concept, but you haven't got the will. What if I gave you someone that has the will?
If someone has
The will to do it. So you're the thinker,
my thinking,
and someone else is doing.
then I can achieve.
It's not that hard.
So I look for a person.
We haven't even on actions yet. This guy's already solving his problem. So, anyone else want to talk to me about what's stopping them? All right, flip it. Let's go to actions. I've got 10 minutes left. Right, okay. Actions. Speak louder than words, right? Remember I said in my talk yesterday, don't jump too far, too fast. What happens? You injure yourself. It's all about producing the micro steps of goals. So, the actions we're now talking about. So, you talked about I have the vision and I have the heart, but I don't have the capacity to get out and do. So you've just come up with an action. Find someone that can do it for you. Okay? Or do it with you?
Do it for me.
Do it with you?
I have to do it myself.
Okay.
So that is, I have to have a strong willpower, maybe a meditation, maybe by something.
Fine. So whatever that is, it involves others around you. You can't do this on your own. Okay? So here is how we break down into micro goals. You need to find people that can task and share your vision. It's a process we call VOVA, V-O-V-A. Vision, opinion, value, action. Impart the vision. Tell people. Remember ISBA, the issue, the solution, the challenges, and the action. And people see the authentic you, the genuine you, because you talk from the heart, not from the head. And this is where 80% of the first transaction of someone buying you is emotional.
I'm realizing it now, that I had done that earlier. Now joint action, the reason has been put to action.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of benefit.
Well, that's that. But then the other thing is,
something is created out of it.
something's created, but then it's for you to then come out and say, what do you think of my vision? How can you get involved? What do you feel you can contribute to take us to the next level? This is how we build. Because Zig Ziglar says this, we don't build businesses, we build people, and people build the businesses. You need people around you. This is all you need.
But how do you find that?
That's what I'm gonna get you to do. 3 micro steps I want you to go away and do. I want you, are you socially connected? So are you on things like Facebook or LinkedIn or?
Yes.
Yeah, LinkedIn?
Yes.
Okay, you can find anyone you want on LinkedIn. I want you to, 3 steps I want you to do. I want you to go, number 1, so I just want you to go and look on LinkedIn at people that are working in the space that you're empowered by. So education or training or will or whatever it is. Study. Number 1, it's easy if you do it off your computer or off your phone. The next step is I want you to make contact with 5 of them. Okay? And then the third step is I want you to tell them the story. What's your vision? And you want to gauge their opinion. Just 3 things that I want you to do, and I can guarantee you, you'll find someone who'll say, I can help you with this.
Vision and opinions.
Vision from you gauge their opinion, because now it's emotive. From there you'll find the value, which is what's the most important thing. And from that you'll drive an action. Over. There you go. Here's your 3 micro action goals. Can you do it?
Yes.
Will you do it?
Yes, I will do it.
Good, because my details are coming up afterwards.
Coming out of this room, I'll learn a lot.
Okay, thank you. And the thing is with this is before we finish, my details will come up. I want you to contact me because I'm going to hold you accountable to those 3 actions. If you haven't done them, Big Boss is going to come around. Deal? All right, I have witnesses here. And the camera. There you go. Absolutely. It's all about telling the story. That's what my mom does. Right. Thank you. Okay, let's do, we've got 1, 2, 3. I want to get them all out of the way. Yeah. Right, so the barriers that you brought up about network, about capacity and knowledge. I want you to, the 3 things I want you to do is step number 1 is I want you to go back and say to yourself, why am I doing what I'm doing? Okay? Why am I doing what I'm doing? And don't come up with because I want to help people, because this and this and this. It's all fluff. Get to the deep root reason for why you want to do something. Because I can show you something. One of my clients currently is a cognitive recruitment firm. They are doing machine learning that will increase or speed up recruitment processes and create accuracy. Their product is already tested to be 80% more accurate than a recruitment firm. And it's also better at writing job profiles than recruiters are. And they came to me and they said, our brand doesn't work. No one understands us, and we need £200,000. I'm coming to you for money in a minute. Well, not for money, I'm going to talk to you about money in a minute. They came up to me and they said, can you invest 200,000 in us? I said, no. I said, I want you to learn why are you doing what you're doing. 3 co-founders. Number 1 says, I believe that not everyone enjoys the work that they do. The second one, why am I doing this? Because I believe the recruitment industry is fragmented. And the third one goes, I believe that machines are better than humans. And I said, I don't know if I can solve that problem today. Got their phones out. Went to Google. I said, I don't ask Google the question, why are people not happy at work? Why is the recruitment industry so fragmented? Do you know what came back? In the UK, 8 out of 10, 8 in every 10 employee is not happy. Out of that 8 out of 10, 1 in 3 will never leave that job because of the fear that they'll never get the job again. Did you know that the people that are made recruitment agents don't even know how to match a job, and that it costs the UK economy £900 million a year for the wrong person in the wrong job.
Yes. That's what you should be.
That came out in 3 minutes. I said to them, this is your story. Now you go and speak to someone. Did you know, did you know, did you know? This is why we do what we do. 6 weeks later, Randstad, the recruitment firm, invested £150,000 into them to build a system that will help them unlock the 35,000 CVs that they can't do anything with. Money isn't the answer. It's what is the value that you're putting forward. Sometimes what happens is when we're talking about brands, you're trying to impasse what you believe the brand should be, and that's wrong. Your brand is not your responsibility. The brand is what the customer feels. And if you're not telling them the story, they can't feel. So I want you to, number one, ask, why are you doing this? And when you come up with 2 or 3 points, I want you to go and research those points, because there's statistics out there which create you as an expert authority. And then I want you to throw those statistics back into the market, and I'm telling you, watch what snaps and grabs you. And again, contact, 3, and I'm going to hold you to account to those, basically. Right, madam, how much money do you need? Come on. I don't know. Do you know what you need? Forget the money. We have 2 things that happen in India. You're based here in India? Okay. There is a cry for talent, and there is a cry for opportunity. Young people want to be able to grow and fathom. So I want you, rule number 1, tip number 1, I want you to design what that business looks like. What is it? Why does it do what it does? And what type of people do you need? I need a design team, I need an IT team. What are these people like? What are they going to do? That's number 1. Number 2, you are then going to push that out to the market and says, remember vision, opinion, value, action? Here is the story. This is what we're about. I would love for someone to come in and help me with the project. I can't pay you right now, but we can give you real life experience. Trust me, there are people out there that will jump. I have people email me every day, I'll work with you for free because I believe in what you do. And that's where you start to turn the curve from something being a concept and a dream to something that could become quite real. And tip number 3, invest in the value proposition of the person that's coming in. So keep them on side. What is your opinion? What is your value? What do you believe we could do to make this bigger, better, stronger? Because don't ever think, remember, you don't build businesses, you build people. Okay, and I'll give you the last example because I know I've got 2 minutes left. So Enterprise Lab, my company, I formed this in 2011. And all I used to do is design programs like this. I mean, this is what we normally do in half a day. I'm trying to do it in 45 minutes. So hopefully there is some cause and effect here. But essentially, I started to write programs which were different to training programs. I wanted to disrupt the way in which people felt. Confidence, competence, all these kind of things. I'm not an educator. I'm not an academic. I just talk a lot, you know. Hopefully sometimes the right things. Sometimes I say the wrong things. I always seem to get my wife in there when someone's videoing me. I'm just so glad she's never seen half the video. So that's the thing. I don't want to digress too much. But Enterprise Lab for 4 years has been built on building training programs and getting them into markets. I have to build them, I have to curate them, I have to then market them, I have to then sell them, I have to deliver them, then I have to do the whole thing again and again and again and again. Look at my circle. All I can walk around is this little circle here. I was based in the UK. I got fed up. So as I started to work more internationally, I found other training agencies who were bigger than me, who had more presence in the local areas. And I said, I can add value to what you already do. Because I've got programs that work differently. Buy a license from me. 11 countries in 1 year bought a license. And it meant I went from training maybe 2,000 people a year to almost over 100,000 people a year. That was in the 4 years. But I was still making myself the center of my business. I am what we call a narcissist. I don't let anyone do anything unless I have control and authority over this. Until the very students that I'm inspiring and conspiring had said, can we come in and see you? And I said, sure. They sat down and they said, we've looked at your brand, we've looked at what you do, and we don't think you're hitting the right chords. So this is them telling me, and you know when people's ego, remember EGO? I'm like, how dare you? I've been in business for 6 years, not you coming out of school. This is the very thing that I'm trying to break and crush, the hypocrisy of what I was saying. So I said, okay, what do you suggest? And they said, we want to take you through a rebranding exercise. We want to make you a new logo, new website, new approach, new this, new that. Enterprise Lab in 4 weeks rechanges its brand. We now have a digital magazine and we're about to open a Netflix-style platform. These guys have taken me from 100% analog to 80% digital. My market has expanded in so much that if I get 100,000 members on my platform by the end of 2018, my business is worth 20 million. And it started with students just that had the idea. So it's not about money, it's about the value that you put into, and the young people have great creativity, so they can bring your idea to life. So embrace it, make yourself more powerful than that. Okay, last slides. I want to leave you some quotes, and then I'll leave my contact information there, and if there are any questions, we'll hang them out outside. So our results are a direct correlation to our perceptions. I want you to learn that whatever you've seen today has changed your behavior. And that behavior changes your attitude, and that attitude will change your actions.
Belief system changes.
Exactly. Excellent. You want something different in your life? Change what you do. But not big. Make small changes. You don't have to change all the sugar. You just need to change one thing at a time. Don't focus on being slim and trim, focus on feeling happy. Because when you're naturally happy, it will all fit into place. And I don't think you need to go on a diet. I think I need to go on a diet. Wow, this is the bloody thing. And don't take the malaria thing as I was saying, that was just a joke. But visualize the end result and then take action. Everything I want you to now start saying to yourself, and I'm going to get you to repeat this, is yes, and take action. It's yes, yes, I'm going to do something, yes, this side say yes, this side say take action.
Yes, take action. Yes, take action. Yes, take action.
What are you going to do? Take action. It's easy. And that's how you change your mindset to create a challenge into an opportunity. That's my information. Thank you very much for coming in. If there are any questions, feel free to contact me on any of my stuff here. If anyone's interested in having an insight session with me directly, I run them from all over the world. That's the link there. If you believe that you've got something and you want to transform, I can guarantee you that I can transform you in 90 days. You get your money back. But this is the one that I want you all to take. I want you all to come onto my magazine because you all have a story to share, and I want to share that with the rest of the world. So just go through to the magazine. As a subscriber to the magazine, you get to drive the content. So, on behalf of WEF, our lovely moderator here, and myself, thank you very much for today, and hope you enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Thank you.
Can we get this translated to our
the presentation?
Yes.
If you email me, my email address, or
myself.
I'll give you my card, and I'll send it to you. Yes. There we go. Drop me an email, I'll send you're the champion of procrastination.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your valuable, priceless thoughts. It was really very awesome. Thank you.
Very much.
And one must do more meditation on this. Concentration
I really appreciate that.
especially dance for Indian.
Yeah?
You don't look like it. I'm sure you heard this many times. Thank you very much.
Okay.
You also traveled to UK with him. Yes. Oh, okay. I'm really appreciating it. I thought you might be sitting more often on his side.
No, of course not. Yes, today. And now I can just
I met her last
the amount of work he puts in.
No.
He's got a small family as well. He sacrifices to be where he's got 2 children back home. With his wife.
They haven't come out.
Schools are important place for all the children.
I think it's not the same time of vacation right now.
No, it's not vacation. It's we are still. Yes, very crowded. But he puts in a lot of work.
I went to that even on all the socials.
He's got that inspired, that spirit in him that wants to go. He doesn't look like
Where did he get it
One of the most shocking findings of my work was the idea that the most compassionate people I have interviewed over the last 13 years were also the absolutely most boundary. Because so I'll give you a very definition, the definition of boundary that I use in the book. Boundary is simply what's okay and what's not okay. What I think we do is we don't set boundaries. We let people do things that are not okay, or get away with things that are not okay. Then we're just resentful. To me, I'd rather be loving and generous and very straightforward with what's okay and what's not okay. And I did not, I learned from the research. I was the exact opposite. I assumed for the first 35 years of my life that people were sucking on purpose just to piss me off. That's what I assumed. Whether it was someone who worked for me or it was someone who, family member who was constantly like, I was always critical and judgy, and I was like, why are they choosing these things? Why are they making the choices? They should know better. And then when this thing came out from my therapist, what if people are doing the best they can? I thought, my husband had the most beautiful answer to that question. He said, I'll never know whether people are doing the best they can or not. But when I assume people are, it makes my life better. So now I think I am not as sweet as I used to be, but I'm far more loving.
That's some technique to do that's really like the way we need to nurture that soil, that wholeheartedness.
Yeah. Generosity, to assume the best about people, is almost an inherently selfish act. Because the life you change first is your own. Yeah. And so my question is big, B-I-G. What boundaries need to be in place for me to stay in my integrity and make the most generous assumptions about you? But generosity can't exist without boundaries, and we are not comfortable setting boundaries. Because we care more about what people will think, and we don't want to disappoint anyone, we want everyone to like us, and boundaries are not easy. But I think they're the key to self-love, and I think they're the key to treating others with love and kindness. Sustaining. Nothing is sustainable without boundaries. I think compassion and empathy are different things, and again, I'm relying on my data for this. I think compassion is a deeply held belief that we're inextricably connected to each other by something rooted in love, in goodness. I call that God. Not everybody calls that God. My dad would call it fishing. Fishing? No. There's no G in fishing. But I think compassion is a deeply held belief. I think empathy is the skill set to bring compassion alive. So empathy is something we can teach. I mean, it's something we've taught our kids since they were very little. It's about how to communicate that deep love for people in a way so that people don't know they're not alone. I think there's a lot of new and interesting information out there about empathy not being a good thing, about that, there's an argument that says, if Travis is in struggle and I practice empathy with you, I'm taking on your darkness, and it leads to burnout, and it leads to, but empathy is not feeling for somebody. It's feeling with them. It's touching a place in me that knows where you've been, so I can look at you and say, me too, brother. You're not alone in this. And I find empathy to be infinite. I think it gives back tenfold what you put out.
It's sustaining. Like if
It's sustaining.
you've done the work and you have your boundaries, I mean, you could tread that water forever and never get tired.
Okay, so empathy. I'm quoting Travis here, empathy. If you've done your work and set your boundaries, you can tread that water forever. Amen. It's not finite. And it keeps giving back to us. And so this idea that here we go back to where we started this conversation. Empathy minus boundaries is not empathy. Compassion minus boundaries is not genuine. Vulnerability without boundaries is not vulnerability. So you see that there's a huge rift here, which is boundaries are freaking important. And they're not fake walls. They're not separation. Boundaries are not division. They're respect. It's here's what's okay for me.
He needed work and I told him, give it 2 years or go back. So he said, fine, done. See, I think I always say,
and make a start. In this life you learn strength and strive. More than just mysteries. But it is not safe to find mysteries. Join your hands and sing with me. Raise our voices here on me.
One of the most shocking findings of my work was the idea that
It's the 5th time I stand on the shore. the Cuban shore.
I'm just, I'm a panelist. Quick question. It's not a simple yes or no. Because men are broadcasters, just like women, everyone has a different characteristic, different personality. An independent man, so it all depends on what the woman is talking about. In my mind, she would be looking for an independent man that is supportive. And those creatures actually do exist. I'm sure most women would disagree with that, but they actually do exist. We just. But again, part of what you're looking for in a relationship is you find out things that you sure you respect each individual person's their own individual style. You're not just there to get it, you're there to share. I think, yes, there are women that are scared of that, but I think they're really about basic concepts when it comes to terms of that. I've met a lot of women here this past week that have told me stories of they've been married for 30 years. And asked me how they like it. Said, well, I put chickens together. So they have one. And they said, but I forgot to put this on. I forgot to put this. So make use of what you wish to find. So she comes and this was so you can say someone would say that you have to be who you are. So if you're an independent woman with a career, that's great. And then you find the type of person you want to have. Get more specific you are, the less people are. So but if you put it out there, and you think that person will go to places to those types of things. More likely to find
नंबर लिख ले 98 अरे नंबर लेने बात कर ले डायरेक्ट यार हाँ बात कर ले मैं शूट करूँगा मेरा अभी तो फिर बोले 3-4
So I have a question.
really showcasing this specific Which means, I mean, for our conversations, so we're working out what we're doing next, how does it empower to inquiry? Because in the space of inquiry, in the right context, that is so much more productive. And the models that are out there are generally resistant. The inquiry itself opens up so many things. We didn't know what it was.
You said you like my diet, you like it too. I find it very useful.
Well, there's a few coming. Yes. Yes, So move your chair. This is a very personal discussion.
Oh, so the finalists are going to, we're going to do the session. Oh,
Excellent.
Why self-sufficient do you
We have to sit there here.
Yeah.
Here.
It's a
personal topic.
It's a very personal topic.
That would be a good place to begin the conversation from.
We'll have to answer questions as well. Really? How old are you?
No, that's not
So I just want to see if you could quiet you down. What it would take. Very nice to have us.
Thank you.
Are you joining us? No?
Welcome to Women Economic Forum 2016. Our next session regarding is it true that men do not want to marry independent women? I must want to say it will be very interesting. Our two speakers, Ms. Antonia and Mr. Edward. He is an agricultural engineer from Canada. So please sir, carry on.
It's getting recorded. Right now? Yeah.
So all the scared women that didn't want to come are going to be watching, is what you're saying?
And both are so you have to be
Using the mic.
So you know what's going on, right? We don't have that speaker. She didn't know why. They just told us that she's coming. So we are the two panelists. So we have to talk about it. So we decided that since there is a big audience, that we can discuss about this and we can have, our ideas. So we want to hear your ideas, and maybe we can find something interesting, So we
use the mic.
So if we can just first say our name and what we work, and then start. And then my name is Antonia Begueris. I'm from Mexico. I'm a coach. So that's education. I have a master's degree in family education. I think about the social investors versus charity. But today I chose this panel because I'm a widow.
Cool. Thank you for being here.
So maybe the speaker found someone, that's why she maybe that's why.
She didn't have the answer.
Maybe, yeah, maybe she, oh, no, maybe she has already the answer. So, I live in Tijuana. Tijuana is the border between Mexico and the United States, which is San Diego, that's our border. And it's a region for us. It's like, I mean, you cross from Tijuana to San Diego as fast as you can. It's very easy. If you have to make visa, and it's different from people that they don't have papers.
Of course.
Okay. And then with that.
I'm Edward Lambert.
Am I going up? I'm Edward Lambert. I'm an engineer from Canada. Spent most of my life in Canada working. I traveled across the world, seen a lot of different cultures. Right now I live in Toronto, Canada. I've worked in many parts of Canada, so the whole country was home. That's it.
Why are you here for this?
Well, that's a long story. The reason I'm here is a good friend of mine from Toronto, of course. She knows me fairly well, and she said, Ed, she says, Ed, you're very nice soul and you love women, so you should come. So I thought about it, and I thought, well, if I can provide some value to women, why not? I really was kind of surprised to see this topic on the list, because most of the independent women I know have never brought this up as an issue. So I will definitely give you my wisdom and
I'm Ethel da Costa. So I'm half Indian, half Portuguese. Goa was ruled by the Portuguese for since 500 years. That's where my family comes from. I'm a lifestyle fashion journalist. I have my own media company now, which is into fashion, lifestyle, luxury. So I create content. So that's basically the core of what I do. I'm a single mom. I have 2 daughters that I've raised on my own. And yeah, I feel men are quite scared actually, or intimidated. So I'm trying to figure out why. Am I the one putting them off, or you know what it is?
So you stay in India?
I live.
Hi, my name is Elizabeth Ortiz. I'm original from Colombia, but I live in the United States. I have a magazine called My Lifestyle Magazine, which is focused on the editorship. It's focused in health, beauty, entertainment, personal growth. And I go to TV, but right here in We4We, I got invited to an organization called Miss Heritage Global, which is a beauty pageant from South Africa that focuses in the beauty of women from inside, their heritage and culture. So I was hired as the national director to bring all the girls from Latin America. And those are the beautiful, beauty girls that you see walking around. So those are the ones that we got invited through We4We invited us to the Miss Heritage organization. No, with the statue. Because everybody stopped the
Special, beautiful. We are
with the
beautiful.
The beautiful, yeah. And I wanted to ask you, like, those women that you met that are independent, that you didn't realize that they have this issue. I have that.
Why don't we present ourselves?
Yes.
Okay. We can talk. Okay. Just your name. What you from and what you do?
My name is Florence Motsumiyo. I was born in Zimbabwe, Southern Africa, and I trained as a nurse midwife. I migrated to England in 1990, and that's where I'm working, practicing as a nurse, and I'm also a businesswoman.
Smriti Gupta. I'm from Delhi, India. And I'm a chartered accountant by profession, and I'm an all India rank holder in chartered accountancy, which is a very established service in India. And I'm working in the private sector, into audit and accounting, and my job is also travel.
Awesome.
Oh, here.
And I'm single.
Not a high.
No, because we'll
You can come here.
Just to let you know that we don't know why, but we don't have speaker. So the two panelists, Ed and myself, Toñe, they call me Toñe. My name is Antonita, but they call me Toñe. We are doing the session, but actually we are doing the session because we didn't prepare for the whole hour. We prepared for 5 minutes, so it's wonderful to have you here. And right now we're saying just our name, where do we work, and where do we live, and then Ed will say what he has to say, I will say what I have to say, and then everybody participates, and we will do the best session of it.
Yes.
Yes, hi everyone. Myself Dr. Pradeep Bhardwaj, a medical doctor with Sir Gangaram Hospital in Delhi, and that's a 750 bedded hospital. Myself is the medical director there, and I have a wife and 2 kids, and we are doing one of the unique services, that is high altitude medical services, and we organize medical services on high hills, and it's free of cost without any donations from anyone. And I think this topic was very interesting, that's why I am here. Earlier I was a speaker with a session, the leadership in healthcare.
My name is Madhuri, and I've come from Pune. I'm an artist, and I'm a painter, and that is my profession. And I've been invited. I did one talk in the morning, which was on sports as an enabler of change, because I used to also be a national champion in badminton, and I've played sports for almost 15 years. Today, of course, I'm a painter for the last 35 years now. So that's my next talk tomorrow, is about my mantra for life, for how I live my life. Today I'm 58, I'll be 58 now, and everyone asks me, how did you manage it? So with all what happened, so tomorrow I'll talk about that. Thank you. Mantra for life. This I just found it very interesting, that whether men want to marry. Because unfortunately I lost my husband, but it's very interesting. It's a topic of today's times, so I could maybe give you some input. Hi, I'm Shivika Sood. I'm from Pune. Shivika. Pune. Pune. Yeah, Maharashtra. Very close to home.
Here, please. Now we are going to open all the certificates. All.
Everybody saw us on the camera that we're having this wonderful meeting.
We thought we were going to be alone, so we're so happy.
Yes.
And
I just came to topic again, and announcing all coming.
we are like this because our speaker somehow didn't come. So the two panelists, Ed and myself, Toñe, are going to do the session. But actually we are doing the session. So we are talking about, I'm glad you're here because I heard your speech. So we're just telling our name, where do we work, where do we live, that's all. Then Ed will talk about what he has to say, I will say what I have to say, Jenny and Dick and we are going to do the session, okay? So your name and...
Well, my name is Dr. Sarah Langley from the USA, and I am a business coach for executive women. And yes, is that it?
Yes. And why are you in this session?
Now, the session is called, do we think that men... yeah, they
not married.
I have my friend here, so I said, hey, we need to go to this one. Here, some male.
Maybe after this he's going to be so scared.
No, we support you. I'm sorry, my name is Brendan Newton. I'm also from the States, from Pennsylvania also. And I'm a chef.
A chef?
Yeah, I do catering. I'm open to.
I don't cook.
No, she'll burn water.
Yeah, I know what you mean. And yeah.
So I'm Chitra Jha from India, and I'm into healing, writer and coach. But why I'm here? Like, I'm married for 33 years. So, but when I married, I was a working woman at that time, and I was an officer in the Indian Army. At that time, to be a working woman was, not everybody was a working woman, but my dream was also just to be married. And so when my husband was also an army officer, and he's, like, when he met me, he liked my being independent, but at the same time, we were very clear that I'm not going to work. I also didn't want to. And I realized over a period of time, and from that independent and strong woman, I kind of, became slowly, very gradually, without me even realizing, just became a woman like that. So now that I've been working last 15 years, and I've become, like, no husband, a general in the army. Sorry, I'm taking a long time, but and he's very big as well. But I have become big in my area, and suddenly I somewhere feel that he's jealous of my popularity. So that's why I'm here.
Okay, now, sorry, what do you do?
So I handle operations. Yeah, I handle operations at for which is Mandarin Bank.
Comes back to that. Oh, you know what happened, or you were here when we explained what happened? No.
No, that's
So
fine.
we don't have speaker. We're the panelists.
Yeah.
We thought we were going to have two persons. Now we have the great group, and we are going to do the session. So he's going to say what he has to say. I will say what I have to say, and everybody will say what he has to say.
We come out here.
So it was kind of interesting when I saw the topic, do men, independent women. And from my experience in Canada and my travels and friends around the world, I've met a lot of independent women, successful women, just like here today. And what I found in my own experience as well is an independent woman needs to know what she wants. And of course, she's going after a career, a business, whatever. That's what makes her somewhat independent. But you have to know what type of person you're looking for, because in my experience, I've seen independent women go for someone that's only supportive, or someone that is more like a trophy husband, so to speak. And those things never seem to last. I mean, they will, might go for a year, and it's not a true relationship. So what I've seen that seems to work is an independent woman would probably look for an independent man that is also supportive of her, or her goal or desire, or understands it. Because an independent woman needs a lot of time to do whatever she's doing. I mean, the career, the business, whatever that is. And if you have a partner or a man who's just supportive, that's great. That person's going to be there, but at some point, you don't have a lot of time necessarily to spend. So that's why I think the independent man that is also a supportive person or understanding of what they're trying to do is the perfect fit. Now, you have to realize when you're looking for someone, it's not just two people that, you know, a business relationship, so to speak. It's you want a partner, you want a companion, you want someone that's there for you. As one woman said, has my back, so to speak. So when you're putting your list together of what you're looking for in your man, you know, you need to look at all the characteristics, but you also want to make sure that that person has something that you enjoy doing or has the same interest. So, for example, if you like to see movies, you know, it's a good thing that that person, you know, likes movies as well, or at least tolerate them. You know, there's a little bit of compromise sometimes because you may or may not find a perfect fit. But for the most part, if you have a list of and you know what you're looking for, you will find it. I mean, not all men are the same, right? It's just like all women are not the same. That's the beauty of this, being human. There's just such a variety. There's men that would be very intimidated by a successful businesswoman or an independent woman because they may or may not be, they feel threatened or whatever. So that's not the type of person you want, because that won't last. You know, you might be the nicest, sexiest man there is, but if it's not a good match, then why waste your time? Because if you find the right match, which is out there, it's bliss. Or it can be bliss. So definitely think about it. It's just like when you see all these seminars or all these sessions that we've been to, they talk about you making a list of what you want and where you're going and all those things. Same thing with your partner and men as well. Make a list of what you're looking for in a partner. Attributes that you like to do. So, for example, for me, I like bicycling. I like going to movies. I like nature, traveling, and hiking. So those are some of the main things that I look for. I didn't hear the question.
I said, where were you when I was getting money? I was looking for all these in a month, and I found one who didn't have any of them.
Where do you live? I hear, that people go missing all the time, so maybe things could be arranged. But so those are, you make a list of things that are especially key to you. You may give up some things. I've given up a number of things in various relationships because there were other things that were more important to me that worked well. So put a list together, and maybe you can put a ranking on the list. Like, okay, maybe if he doesn't have this characteristic, like, okay, he won't put the toilet seat down. Well, you can buy a device now that will actually do that for you, or crazy glue it to the bottom, whatever. There's little things that don't really matter as much, but there are very key important things that matter. So if you want someone that cooks, you may want to put that down, because there's a lot of men that love to cook. They maybe can't do not all of us can do a 5-course meal perhaps, but there's 1 or 2 dishes or meals that we could prepare, because we like to do that. I love to eat food. I love all sorts of food, so we should talk. But yeah, it's very important to know what you're looking for and what are the important things in your life. I mean, I'm sure one of the things would be to be supportive of you, your endeavors, whatever that is, and then list all the other ones that you want. I was talking to a woman in a session last time, I think it was yesterday, and she had been married for over 30 years, and they were joking that she had made a list of all the characteristics she wanted in her, in the man she wanted to marry, and she was praying and chanting for this for a certain period of time. And I had to laugh to myself, because that's not the first woman that has told me that and has had success of doing that. So that's why I say make the list. At least then you know what you want. And even if you put it on the fridge with a magnet or something and say, you know, you look at it every day and say, oh, okay, maybe that one's not that important now. But it comes down to knowing what you want. And, you know, you, just like, I forget the other lady that said this in a seminar, you know, it still requires action. You know, you still have to go out and meet people. I mean, sometimes, you know, sure, someone could run into you in a car, it could be your Prince Charming, so to speak. But that may not be the nicest way to meet a person. But yeah, just if you're doing the things that you like to do, that's probably a good place to find someone, because that person obviously loves to do the same things you do. So.
I have something to say. So people like us who are independent women, who are like fast-growing women, I must say that. And you know, and my husband is my bestest friend, and we have like a best marriage which is going. I can't think of any other man who could have. But you know, somehow it is like, if you are running and we want him to catch up all the time, and we put so much pressure on our men, the independent women. So it's not just about whether you find, whether the man finds you, you know, they are scared of us, but we also put, because we want them to match us all the time, and we are growing so fast, the women. I mean, that's how I feel.
The question I have to ask is, why do you want them to catch up?
See, it's not like I want. It's the pressure the man puts on himself, because the conditioning in the society is such.
Yeah, but,
you know, so I feel that there is a pressure indirectly which gets put, and he has to kind of prove himself.
But this is where I'm saying as a marriage or as a relationship, you need to have the conversation. You need to tell them that, you know, this is not a competition. You know, even if you have an independent man, you don't want that man to be in competition, because then it's back and forth, and at some point, you know, you guys might get tired of that. So it's best to just stay up front. Well, okay, dear, I love you and all this, and you don't have to compete with me. You know, you are the man that I love, or you are the woman that I love, and I love you for who you are. I don't need you to be something else. If you are looking for that, then you need to put it on your list and make sure you find it. Very valuable man that.
But I feel, why does he need to catch up, in the sense that he is in his own field and you are in your own. So there's no point.
That's true. What I'm saying, so cultural baggage is such that man has to always be. So what happens? We walk into a party and most people are, oh, we read all your posts, oh, you write so well, oh, we read, like people who would have otherwise come to him, and some do, because he's such a senior guy. But it is somehow the attention gets diverted to me.
Well,
and I'm just sensing it. Yeah, I'm sensing that little, and he loves me, there's no doubt about that. I'm just saying, when you're independent, this is just a little byproduct which just happens.
Yeah,
it's not like he wants to do something.
One thing, it sounds like you're going to parties with people that know more about you than about him. So
when I'm in India in the army, I'm going into the army center, where he's like a big man, and people do, but within seconds, it's like, because I write so much, and I read so much, and I'm in the public eye, you know, so I'm just saying that it's not about me, this workshop. I'm just saying that independent women, many a times, we independent women, many a times, especially if we are going fast, we tend to just put a pressure, because there's a cultural pressure.
But let me ask you a question. Has your husband complained about that?
No, he hasn't.
So maybe it is your issue.
Yeah.
You feel insecure.
It is my issue, I understand. You're conscious of. I'm conscious because I want him to be, I don't know.
What are you doing now?
You are not, you know, you're not her mother, you are not. I mean, he has his own life, he has to grow his own life, and he has to be self-confident. He has to trust you, and that's why he's with you. Just leave him. He has his life. You don't have to organize his life, or you don't have to decide what he has to do. Because you are writing, he has to write. Because you give conferences, he has to. No, maybe he wants to read, or maybe he wants to. Whatever.
Maybe he wants to cook.
He does all that, he's a mountaineer, he's cycles, he's a big man. I don't know our cultural context I'm just talking about. When woman becomes independent, it is just that, and in my cultural context, the last 33 years, I am as a wife, there is a little that the wife is, in my cultural context, the wife is like, has to be here, and the wife kind of comes here and is there. There is, as a wife, I'm also not feeling comfortable.
But who's saying that he's not up here and you're still down here?
You're thinking in your mind.
Yes, this is all
Of
your
course I'm
mind.
thinking in my mind. But you are in Indian, the cultural context, you will
So I'll share
like
my
why don't we talk about it? Yes.
Okay. In United States, I do TV. And so I'm a journalist. And most of the girls that work with me are in the same situation. Because we are in the public eye, it's kind of what she's saying. It's not something that you do on purpose. It's something that you are on TV or you're in media with a magazine. And then you have people that listen to you, they see you, they like, whatever. You know, it's unintentional. You're just doing your job. Yeah. And then when most of the, because we have this stuff all the time. And you see all the anchors on TV or the weather girl and all that, and most of them are single. Because the people have a perception of them already, and they feel that they already have, I don't know how many admirers and a list of people interested. And it's so funny because in the United States we celebrate Valentine. And I remember many times that the girls on TV are well spoken and blah blah blah. And there were many of us that were that day, and they didn't even have one date or one invitation. And we were like, what's going on? You know what I mean? And it's people that you speak to people, you're friendly, you open mind, you many things, but it's the perception of it's like a competition thing. They don't want to even approach you. They don't even bother to try to make a move because they assume you're already taken or you're already busy or you have these high standards or you want this type of thing that they don't even have a chance to talk. And for example, in my case, that I had a relationship when I was in college and then it was okay. Everything was perfect because I was working in catering, I was doing this, I was doing that. The moment that I graduated and my career started, picking up, then my partner had a problem. Everything started changing. And I was in my relationship, but I was, doing what I wanted to do. That's what I went to college for, and that's what I wanted to study and open my own company. And I was being me the whole time. But my career changed. So eventually everything broke up because of the same situation. He would not celebrate anything that I was doing. He was always the bad because I became public and blah. The same situation kind of there. So you understand what she's doing, and then at the end it has to break up. Because I felt that he didn't support the person that I became, which is not the same person that we started. Knowing that I was in the process. So you do it unintentionally, and maybe it's not like she feels down or whatever. You not even do it, but you know the change in the relationship. You feel it, you see it.
Very subtle.
It's subtle, but you know that your man, the person that you're with.
So between this and this, I think just kind of add on to that. So I married very young to a journalist again. So we were like the stars. We were just kind of out, that kind of thing. And he was working in a different media house. I was working in a different media house. We got married very young. I mean, just 5 months of dating and we married. And the dynamics I saw changed so rapidly to the point that he became abusive. And not just verbally abusive, physical abusive, And it got to a point where I had to divorce. I'd walk out with both my daughters. I said, that's it. I didn't sign up for that, Yes. And I'm single till today because I'm just so scared to even trust somebody else, and get someone else into the space that we created between me and my girls. So my girls had grown up, without a father figure for quite some time. So my elder one is 20, my younger one is 17. But yeah, and so.
Well, I'm a business coach for executive women. My background is counseling. So
I'm sitting here in my counseling hat, just listening to everything, because we're already in a circle. Hi, my name is Sarah. From what I'm hearing, I think that the thing that we need to acknowledge too is the fact that it's understandable with your comfort level, how uncomfortable it must be for you with culturally, how for your culture and for my culture, and it sounds like just about for everyone's culture, how the man is at a certain place, the woman is at a certain place, and that's supposed to be the traditional way. While everything is changing, it's more progressive now.
Very fast. It's
Yeah, very, very, very fast. To the point that sometimes what really will just help is just to call the pink elephant in the room. Have you ever heard that before? Yes. In other words, calling out. Yeah, I made it pink. I know it's called the elephant in the room. I always call it pink, but to call that thing that's really out there and open that's not being addressed. And so just to help with your comfort level. So if it is in fact that, let's say that it is you that's just feeling that, and maybe your husband isn't feeling it. You may be projecting, a lot of your stuff on him, but you should just say, you know what, honey, things have changed. I know we've been together for 33 years, and I'm in a certain place, I wonder how you feel about that. I wonder what your thoughts are, just so that opens a dialogue to hear, oh, honey, I don't care, it's fine. Or he may, you know what, thank you for even opening up.
And I've done that because I'm a counselor myself. Okay. And he would say exactly the same thing, but still, there is a little feeling, he's saying it, but I feel it. There's something confusing.
Yes.
He says, no, of course not. What nonsense are you talking?
So I met your husband. He came across as a very supportive and proud of you.
Oh my God, I'm not even like, I'm saying it's a very subtle thing. Of course he is.
Very proud
I
of
said
you.
he's my bestest
See that?
friend. It's just that I'm just saying subtly, there are some subtle things and as a woman I feel it. And though if I ask him, he'll say, what nonsense. He's
Yeah.
saying. Because my husband was there for my last workshop. I met many girls, where's your husband? He was like taking the pictures all over.
I know. He's very proud of her.
So
And I can tell you, it's in all my
I think,
of
of course he is.
This mind is the biggest problem. Human mind is random in nature. You cannot compare human mind. You can compare any object or subject, but you cannot compare human minds. And we are in the medical field. Lots of ladies are under stress because they are not talking. Even they are not giving time to each other. That is the biggest problem. And one more thing is the patience. Nowadays, people are losing patience in the relationship. They are not giving enough time to each other. Wife want husband according to her, and husband want wife according to him. That is the biggest problem. And the topic that we are taking here, that is it true that men do not want to marry independent women? Frankly speaking, nowadays women are more and more career oriented, and they are losing their golden period of life into their career. They are doing graduation, then what you will do? Post graduation, then what you will do? I will do doctorate, then what? Job, then what? Promotion. But they are losing their actual experience. A man without woman is incomplete, and a woman without men is incomplete.
India, like you said, of the checklist. So one of the main criteria in the checklist if you're going for alliance is, the salary package. Because it's a prerequisite that, the girl has to earn less. And in many cases, some of my friends, their marriage was not happening and they left their job for 2-3 years just to find a match, and once they got married, then they started earning. And they advise other girls also that you do a low salary job, then you will get married. Because
But then you're not finding the person you're looking for.
but
If you're
you have to fit
finding
in, because the social circle is such, you have to fit in. Because if you're not married up to a certain age, you don't fit in the social circle. Everywhere you go, you have to answer the question,
What's the point of being educated?
Yeah, that's what
Exactly. You have to be who you are. I mean, you succeeded in college, you succeeded in a job or in a business because that's what you wanted to do. You don't want to have to give that up and settle for something that is not in your heart, because that won't last. You know, there's been a lot of stories in this seminar of women that have had bad relationships and, you know, had to move on. And that's why, because you're not true to yourself. You have to be true to yourself. I don't know in India where all the men are. But I mean,
the most trusted people in the world.
I mean, you look at all the you look at all the wonderful people in this circle and in this conference, and how many are from India, and you know they're beautiful, they're talented, they're successful. I mean, what man wouldn't want you? I mean, that's my thoughts. I have a hard time with this because, you know, I've met nothing but beautiful people here and very intelligent people.
And I think this is cultural. It's completely different from United States, maybe Canada, Mexico, India. It's cultural. I think the movement has grown so much, so fast, that some men are, you know, trying to reach the women. If they are married, like your case, you know, they are trying to reach other men. She's not married. He won't go near her because of his self-confidence. She's making money. She's beautiful. She jobs. She travels. Maybe she's going to meet someone, or his insecurity makes not going near you. Now, I think women right now, we have changed the idea in some cultures and in some levels, because I'm a Mexican and it's completely different from as a Mexican, from like native culture. She was born to get married, to have kids, and to cook. No? Now in Mexico, in my and I'm here. I didn't deserve to here. I was just here. I was able to study. I was able to choose my husband. I was able to choose if I have kids or not. I was able to choose from a wide range of decisions. In very poor people, even the father decides who is going to get married. You know, so in maybe Canada, United States, or in our culture, I mean in our lives, women right now, we're not looking for another my half. You know, I'm a widow, and I'm not looking for another half. I'm looking for a complete, full man, because I'm a complete, full woman. And I hate the idea of that you find your, we call it media naranja. You know, you have. You know, I'm not looking for a half man. Because I
think we'll clap for that.
And I think that's the problem. You know, that if we don't find a man that is self-confident, then he will go near you. And sometimes we have the fault. I mean, we make mistakes. We look so, you know, male. I went to your presentation. We have this strong male side, that then we don't allow these men to come near you because they are scared. And they are scared that maybe you make more money, or maybe, you know, there are many things that they are scared. So, but I think this is cultural. In the 40s, in the 60s, women didn't have any decision to make. She was born, get married, have kids, cook, leave the house. You know, if she didn't get married, she had to go to the religious organization, right? Otherwise, what happened with her? You know, right now, so wide what you can choose. I mean, the decisions you have made. But now we have to teach the women that if you choose something, you have to, and I found the word, you have to give up things. You cannot have everything. You know, because in my country at least, the being unfaithful to a husband, I mean the husband to the wife, now it's happening to the wife for the men, you know, both can be unfaithful, you know, and that's because you have to learn that if you choose to make a commitment, For me, I think that the biggest problem for men right now, that they do not go near a woman with self-confidence, is because they don't want to make commitments. They don't want to make a commitment, you know.
Fear of commitment.
And that's why we open now, besides a marriage, now we open this new, I don't know how to call it, it's my, I'm saying it is my emotional partner or my, you know, we have to open that because we are not going to get married, but we are living together because we get along very well, and but we don't, I mean, the commitment is like, okay, let's wait. We're doing so well together that why do we have to make this paper and sign?
My
You know?
understanding- my
Why do we have
understanding
to
is
sign the
exactly
paper?
that.
And that's the commitment. That's the commitment.
Why are you all up in our house right now? I would love to hear my friend here. I would love to hear
put him
his.
on the
I'm not
spot.
trying to put him on the spot. He wants to say something, but he's being very respectful. He'll sit here the whole time, and then the time is up, and then he's like, oh, I wish I said something. But yeah, I think this is.
He has to say.
Yes.
Let's
So-
hear from.
If he wants to, he
You
can.
want? You want to?
No pressure.
He wants to.
Yeah,
See, it's quite different for me. I was raised by a very strong, independent woman. It didn't start out that way. My mother and my father lived in a typical marriage. You know, father was the provider, mother was the one that did the nourishment. And so they got divorced because my father he got bored with the relationship. So he went to look for a more independent woman. After that, my mother then became more independent. So I kind of learned from both sides of the aspect of both sides. I can't see myself with a woman who is not independent. I just can't. I feel like it's like if what I saw my mother go through, it was very difficult for her to make the transition from the one who depended on my father to the one who was the one that was the extra breadwinner. That transition was very hard on her, very, very hard. It sent her to a dark place. So I don't want to see, if there's anything that would happen to me in my marriage, I don't want to see my wife go to that place. I want her to be a very independent woman. I want her to take care of herself. I wanted to make that option. Basically, she, while we're married, she doesn't have to, but she has the ability to. That's, you know, and I think honestly, with the younger culture, especially in the States, especially with African American men and women, there are more strong, independent African American women in the States, and there are a lot more passive men, especially African American men in the States, and a lot of times we don't have a choice but to have a very strong independent woman. It's just there's not many options. A lot of African American men don't have that option. They have to pretty much choose a woman who is strong and independent.
But you know what? Because she's taking this, she's going to have to buy you something really expensive.
Yeah.
I don't care. That's just the rule.
Excuse me, Angela?
Yes.
Really?
Yes, you have to buy him something really expensive because this was a phone freeze.
I'm sorry.
Yes, I think you are self-confident. That's why you need and you can live with the idea that you need a woman with you, with not a half, with a whole woman.
Yes.
But you are allowed yourself to say, I need, as I need a man, you know, we need, but we don't need half, we need, you know.
Sorry to interrupt. That is it. Self-confidence. You are confident.
I need a
So
partner.
that means the men who don't want to go for independent women are not self-confident.
That's correct.
They come like somewhere.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't want someone who, I think that in marriage, it should be equality. no one should be better or higher than the other. I need a partner. I don't need someone
Equality, but also equality
with order.
no, with the family, with the kids.
Yes.
Because sometimes in my country, it's like, oh yes, you can work, but you work and then you come and you clean and then you take care of the kids and you wash the clothes and everything, and he's watching me, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, what you can work? Go and work. Yeah.
I have one last thing to say. That was the one.
A man that can clean, a man that can wash, a man that can cook, a man, you know, is a strong man.
Yes, the one thing what really broke my mother and my father, again, when they were together, my mother took care of everything. She took care of the kids, she watched, and she had a full-time job also. My father was a firefighter, my mother worked in the post office, and she did everything at home. I didn't know my father. I didn't have a relationship with him. He brought the money home. He went to his own thing. And I refuse to have a relationship like that. I can't do it. What's the point? Yes.
In this Mexico or in third world countries, men do not allow the women to go, you know, and keep them like stay there because they know that if they let them, you know, they will, you know, and then so they are afraid, and it's different, completely different from the first world countries. I think it's completely different, you know, in Mexico or the Peru. I went to Peru, to the north of Peru in the Amazons, and I was giving a talk with the women, very good women, and we were in a classroom, and I was talking with them about, you know, empower them, you know, you have values, you have principles, you have to do things, and you know where they met? They were outside, you know, trying to watch and listen what I was saying because they were afraid that I was going to put them against them, you know. When they listen, you have to be with your husbands, and your husbands are the best thing they can do. You know, they were more relaxed and more happy, but they were completely afraid of me telling them, you have fun, you can do whatever you want, because they don't need that woman. No, because it's going to go.
I'd like to add to that.
Yes, please.
I'd like to cite a movie, I'm sure the Indian audience have seen it. There's a new movie that's come out and it's called Car and Key. Car and Key, which is basically, in Hindi you say ladka is ka, ladka means man or boy, and ladki means key, that is girl. So this movie is basically breaking stereotypes. It's showing that this woman, you know, this girl, is a very successful marketing manager of an advertising firm, while her husband is a stay-at-home husband who cooks, you know, and he gets the house clean, and then he's even gossiping with the neighboring ladies and all that. So, you know, and what I watched it, and of course it's done good business commercially. But then when I was asking people, normal people who watched it, they said this will never work in India. You what do you think? We'll go and we'll sit at home and wear bangles at home? You know, someone even told me, I said, why? Why do you can stay at home and look after the kids if your wife is being the provider? Why this ego hassle, you know, is coming into the picture? No, it doesn't work like this. Many of them said this or something to the effect that it will not work. It's just a film. It's fiction.
That's actually becoming a big thing with stay-at-home dads. It's becoming very, very big because, of course, women are
again, it's culture. Yes. In Mexico, that we have this division between poor people that they don't have money to study or they have to stay at home, and the people that can study and work and everything. We see now this kind of couples that he stays at home because she's so good in business and making so much, and he's doing so very good with the family. He allows that, both with the poor people, with the people in the natives. They would never allow. I mean, he will. absolutely, he will never allow the women to be higher than
There's a lot of society pressure on the men also, because even if they want, it's not okay to society.
Yeah.
Our time is just,
Yeah.
Society says men have to accept the man's.
Yeah. Even the woman will be.
They castrate the men also. They expect them to be like
who's working. I mean, my husband passed away, so I really can't so much about that. But I think it's a very fine line which decides how you respect your man and the woman who respects the man, which keeps the relation together. If just because you're successful and you earn more, if you make him feel little, it's never going to work. If you can maintain that balance, respect. I would rather a man respects me than loves me, because romance and love and everything there's nothing. But if there is respect, it will all come.
so we're out of time. Has anybody got anything, last words that they wish to say?
What is the answer? What's the bottom line?
You need
Make the list.
make the list, know what you truly want, and then I think
And then universe will bring it.
yes, but as you said, you're looking for a man with self-esteem and confidence as well. I mean, I have a friend that I worked with, an engineer, married another engineer that we worked with. She ended up becoming the plant manager, and they started a family. He stayed at home, looked after the kids, also worked though from home. He was able to do that. And just recently, well, I guess in the last year, he changed and took her name, which even to me, I thought that was
Culture again.
Well, even in Canada, that takes a lot of self-esteem and confidence to be able to do that. I mean, he's got the brackets for the hyphenation, because he's doing business on both sides. But it's important to find the person that there's a certain amount that culture will dictate, but you have to know who you are. You have to know what you're looking for, and the men are out there that have the confidence. They may not have all the same things that you're looking for, but they'll be all the key ones I'm sure you will find, because a confident man is willing to expand his knowledge and his life. So,
But you make the list.
yes.
And you live in the United States, Canada.
Yeah, send it to me. I know a few Indian men in Canada that
You can put that in Facebook or all these
well, no.
Not Facebook, but I mean you can show what.
I wouldn't.
There are many companies that they are matching. But the problem
is the biggest match.
Yeah, I wouldn't share that list in social media, because there are people out there that will take advantage of that.
No, but I was trying to say that again it's cultural, because what happened with these women in the community, that they don't have they are going to do the list. They are going to be the list or to share the link.
Put it on the fridge. Read it every day.
Yes. Just to remind, because the first time you make the list, you're going to want, all sorts of things that you may not want after you really start thinking about it. So just be. He will be single for a little while.
Very interesting.
Well, again, actually, we have to finish, and
That's another subject, the cities. When you have big cities, and many jobs, so that's the relationship. It's harder.
It's what do you want in life?
Yeah, but not only the person, but the statistics. People are running the city because everybody wants too many options.
Don't listen to statistics. Don't listen to what other people tell you.
Sorry, the information of journalists and journalists.
I think they are telling us that we have to
just keep putting.
Yes.
You know, from basic work.
New York is very good place, there's a lot of,
Oh, for sure.
Oh, no, I
If
don't
not,
have to
send me
worry.
an email, send me an email.
Thank you for being here. We thought we were going to have it tete-a-tete with,
Yes.
because we were
We actually thought we
right?
were gonna go for coffee.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's so interesting to have you here, and well, we can talk outside and continue with this conversation.
Just
Thank
remember,
you for being here.
you're all beautiful and wonderful people. Just remember that.
That's enough.
Thank you so much for attending these nice sessions. Thank you so much.
Does she go to her, is the kitchen?
I have not seen her.
So the kitchen. So if Mary's in there, you talk oh, you got it now?
I just keep it.
You got the picture, that's all. I live with my husband. I live with him 40 difference. We love each other. He was in a I'm very happy that it was the birthday of marriage. I just say, you know, so you can chop the onion. Yes, ma'am. And they're juggling all the time. I became the first. People start asking me, what happened? Friends coming.
I do the cooking. I do the cooking, she does the cleaning.
No. Then we have to talk. Then we have to talk.
You want someone that's
Proud of yourself.
but also confident in what he's doing.
करा कैसे कैसे निकल जाएगा मैं हाँ करा ऐसे कैसे हाँ करा ऐसे कैसे निकल जाएगा मैं मल्टीपल
You have to be supportive both ways. I mean, you have your career or whatever, he will have his career or whatever, but you have to recognize that at some point, you can support you or vice versa. It's a good start, even if you don't believe it, it'll help you focus your mind when you're looking, for those characteristics in it.
With sports, you don't want them to be a player just in that sport. You coach, you train.
हाँ जी कौशिक जी मैंने फोन कर दिया हमको
Children, you can do a lot of things. Just keep that fire alive.
So you can
Because you know that they're short.
I didn't bring the card myself.
It works. You have to believe that it will come.
That's very nice outfit. Trust me, there's a lot of wonderful men out there. You just have to make sure you know what you want.
डॉक्टर प्रदीप भारद्वाज ये मिस्टर जोन्स बात करना चाहते होंगे
We all are.
अंडर सेक्रेटरी है मिस्टर जोन्स वो बात करना चाहते होंगे मैं गंगाराम हॉस्पिटल से बोल रहा हूँ
This was a wonderful little chat. It was a great idea you had.
Bigger. Okay, speaking and everything.
That's right, that's right. So thank you so much.
Actually, we're gonna make a circle. I'm not talking to you.
Okay. May I shake your hand? You have a wonderful woman there.
I thank you very much. So.
She can take a little criticism.
हाँ जी सर डॉक्टर प्रदीप भारद्वाज
Yeah. We,
Those are really good. We're ready for
It was, it was. We all, really good. The two of us, we do struggle with that sometimes. Because that's part of it, right? I mean, you have to, she's gonna need some support sometime, and then we will